Don't forget the maybe, baby.
Maybe this will help. Will this help you?
Don't forget the maybe, baby. Don't forget the maybe, baby.
All I'm saying is we need to get in the studio.
It's showtime.
Welcome to another episode of Maybe This Will Help.
As Mike would say, same old show, just a new year. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But guess what? We still gonna enhance it.
Welcome to another episode of Maybe This Will Help.
I'm scared of dating, because what if we don't break up?
Or you could just send them a message and say, man, have you seen I lost my feelings for you?
Damn. Have you ever struggled with the breakup?
I've told some people, like, you know what, I can't do this shit no more.
Great person, but you just not for me.
Someone said, real growth starts when you're tired of your own shit. What we've been talking about, man, just being able to look in the mirror first.
The only toxic relationship I ever had is the one I had with myself. Everyone else was just a reflection of that.
Come on, Jesus.
Golly, what more do you need to say? You attract more opportunities once you are calm, because no one wants to deal with people who lack emotional control.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Maybe This Will Help.
I thought we was mature in 2022. That's my bad.
Testing 1 2 1 2. Test 1 2 1 2. Mike D. Testing 1 2 1 2. Mike check 1 2 1 2. Eat up.
Testing. 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 Oh, no? Nothing much?
Yeah, brother.
Yeah.
Mike, I want to thank you for how well you participated in that, Dub.
I just thank Mike Wood, just sitting there letting you do all the work. And just
oh, okay. Mike, unmute yourself and give his brother a piece of your mind.
Nah, I got nothing. I got nothing.
Yo, fellas, ladies and gentlemen in the audience, welcome to another episode of Maybe This Will Help, the podcast. Give you that relationship talk you can relate to. As the brother Kerry says, the good, the bad, and the alimony. You got 4 distinct perspectives, giving you guys some vulnerable conversation about things we've been through in relationships, things we've hoped to go through in the coming relationships. But, this is a place where it's not just us adding value. We definitely value our comment section. So if you got something you want to add, throw it in the comment, throw it in the chat. We'll put it up on the screen if it's relevant. Adding value. Somebody put something up. Sasha, what's popping? Hello, gentlemen. Hello to you as well. This is a joint effort tonight. Everything we're doing is all in hopes that maybe it will help. You might be the one to help somebody. You might help me tonight. You never know. So, fellas, let's talk about it, man. We're gonna check in. Let me just say this for the first timers who haven't been here before, because I see our numbers going up there. The first hour of the show, we usually do like posts we've seen online. Second hour, we usually discuss videos, but sometimes we feeling froggy and we want to leap and we do a whole show with nothing but videos, which we might do tonight because we got some fire videos. If you ever have some content, a video or a post you think you want to hear us discuss, shoot it to Maybe This Will Help Podcast at gmail.com or go to Maybe This Will Help the Podcast on Instagram or Facebook. Throw it in our DM and we'll, if it fits the script, we'll throw it on the show and have the discussion. Hopefully you'll be there to join us. All right, fellas.
Yeah.
Welcome to the last week of Black History Month.
Hey.
Oh wow.
Is it? No, it's not.
No,
we got another week. Okay. I'm not trying to rush us out the door. Let's check in, man. What's the deal?
Hey, I'll start off.
Go for it.
So I was excited this whole week, man. So this weekend was part 2, you know what I'm saying? You know, I'm talking to the people in the audience. It was part 2 of my birthday celebration. And I was like leading up to it, man. I had mixed feelings. You know what I'm saying? I had highs, I had lows, I had like, oh man, I can't wait for it to be here. I had, man, I just want this shit to hurt and be over with. I had, I had a bunch of, you know what I'm saying, mixed emotions, mixed feelings about it, man. But as the week got closer, I'm just like, okay, I'm ready. As far as like being at work, I'm ready fit to get here. And then man, the weekend got here and it was much needed. You know what I'm saying? Full of laughs, full of smiles, full of, having loved ones around. And it was one of them things, man. We had a ball. We had a ball, man. We laughed so hard.
I know we lost some weight. I know we burnt some calories, bro, with the amount of laughing we did.
Hey, man. So it was man.
On the ground, rolling, falling out.
It was much needed, man. It was definitely much needed. Just family, you know what I'm saying? Family time. It was this weekend. Also, on Friday was the day that they buried one of my little cousins who passed away. He wasn't little, he was younger than me, but he wasn't little. But he was put to rest on Friday in Arizona. I didn't get to go to the homegoing celebration, but that's why I said, like, this weekend had a whole bunch of different emotions. You know what I mean? But work has been good all week. It capped it off with this weekend, man. I had a really, really, really good time. I had a really, really, really good time. So I'm in a good place, man. Came home, took a nap. So, I'm all good.
F your nap. You smiling at Mike? What you got?
I was laughing at E. That nap sound good right about now. Shit.
Bruh, I told the F your nap, man. I need one bad, but listen, I think 2 weeks ago when I was on the show, brother, my eyes were closing. I think somebody else saw it too. I was so tired on the show, bro. I think like 2 or 3 times my eyes were shut. Like, listen, y'all tell me the story. I'm going to bed.
Don't tell me this story.
What about you, Mike Dizzle?
Hey, man. Man, this week was rough. Just ups and downs, dealing with my friend's death. So just trying to stay in a solid place. And, the cliche statement of, remembering the good times, but like high key, that's really what you got to do. You know what I mean? And, sometimes as men, we don't really allow ourselves to grieve, whether it's I gotta do this, I gotta stay busy, I gotta, you know what I mean? And sometimes you don't really have, a lot of time to actually sit there and process and grieve the way that may even be needed. So a lot of it so random. A lot of it been coming out when I go to the gym, and luckily I be sweating, so niggas can't tell nigga crying or is he sweating. Perfect.
I mean, they could look at your bottom lip shivering and they know that something ain't right.
Not the quiver. The bottom lip quiver. Yeah. But other than that though, man, life is good. Getting these businesses off the ground and just really diving into Jay and Denim and just laying that foundation, that family foundation.
As you should, good brother, as you should. Amen. Yeah. All right. Well, my week was good, man. I'm sitting here. Pookie made these amazing cookies. I don't think she made like 4 dozen of them, but listen, I know we lost some weight because we were laughing so much this weekend, but you ain't gonna be able to see it because we ate so much that probably just canceled each other out. Bro, that French toast. Yeah, bro. It's like it was a French toast, right? You're supposed to eat it, but it was so soft, like you could lay on it at night and go to sleep. Like it doesn't have the same, you know what I'm saying? But the cool thing about those French toasts you could eat or sleep on. Either way, you was going to bed after you ate it because
that's perfect. That's perfect.
That was just, I don't know what she put some melatonin in it or what, but bro, that thing had niggas on the couch brother. Listen,
KO'd, huh?
bruh, I tell you, boy, she got a gift or witchcraft. I'm not sure which one it is, but it was a phenomenal week. And what up, DTF? We gotta love the Pookie, man. She held us down. Kind of like y'all, man. It was rough, man. You know, I don't really come from the corporate world, but now that I've been in it for like, you know what I'm saying, a few years, I understand why people need their vacation. I'd be wanting to cash my vacations in. My boss be like, listen, take your time off. I've been looking forward to this weekend for like a month, bro. Like my body was just like, man, just get to the finish line. Exhausted, man. So when this weekend came, bro, when it hit 5 p.m. hit on Thursday, I was so exhausted.
In the full party mode.
Yeah, I was so exhausted. 5 p.m. hit, I got a burst of energy. I'm like, yes, it's about to go down. Like, listen, man, it's like my body wasn't even letting me access my energy. It was just reserving it for this weekend, bro. It's like 5 p.m. Everybody like, yeah, baby, let's go.
Listen, too many people thought I would never get far and never supported the show. And one of my teachers pulled me out of my class to tell me
You can't deny that though. Come on.
Hey, for real though. That's how I felt. 5 p.m. Thursday. I drove down to San Diego solo. I took Friday off, so I drove down early. Like, I'm gonna get down there early, scout the area, got a massage, chill at the house. I wanted to get in that pool. Carrie cleaned the pool, but it was clean today. I almost got in there this morning, man. That would have been cool. But outside of that, man, when I said we laughed, my heart needed to laugh, man. It had been so much going on. My heart needed every ounce of all that inappropriate jokes and laughter, the disrespect that happened on this trip. If you were sensitive, brother, you wouldn't gonna make it through this one. We was not holding back, and we came to bring some of that disrespect to y'all tonight on this episode, and maybe this will help. So, yeah, grab a friend and accountability partner, because we're about to get into some raw conversations. Thank you guys for listening to us as we check in. We're about to get started. Remember, it's gonna be 2 hours, so grab your favorite snack, tag one of your friends who need to listen in to some of this content, get ready to participate. Or like some of you guys, you know, who feel really special, you can always just text us personally if you want to add your comments. I have a few of those friends like, I'm jumping in the chat, I'm gonna text you, which is fine too. You know what I'm saying? Those are my bougie friends. All right, Carrie, it's good to see you on here. Vicky, good to see you as well. And of course, DTF, we love you. Make sure you guys shout us out. We're about to get into this. Fellas, anything else before we get started?
Man, I want to say something, but I don't know what to say. Something's gonna come out. Yep.
I think something. I was gonna ask you. I don't know what y'all did last week, so it's a few videos I might need to go over with you guys to see if y'all did.
When he gives you advice.
Did y'all do that one?
I don't think
so.
Opinion you have that might piss some people off.
Most people have never experienced love. They only experience need.
What did y'all talk about last week?
So we went all the way off script. We started one conversation in the beginning that lasted almost an hour.
Yeah, it was for real. Like, honestly, man, it was last week. It was a lot of just raw conversation, questions back and forth to each other, man.
Yeah,
and it was in those questions. It was just conversation starters, man. It just conversation just kept us going.
Yep.
Okay, we're gonna dance one song only. That's what y'all did last week. We're gonna have one conversation only. So y'all didn't do any of this. Y'all looking at it like it's foreign. Never mind. Wow. Okay.
Back to the future, brother. Let's do it.
All right. Listen. All right.
We did that one.
You did that one. Women bring out different. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, we did that one.
Oh, Jesus. All right, found one. I just wanted to, what I was trying to do was just create space. I want to play this song to open up the show today. So let me see if I can find it. And you guys know I like to have a little bit of fun. Here we go. Let me load just a little bit. It's not as bad as the I Need to Go to Therapy song. All right, it's not as bad as that one because Arrow hates that one. Absolutely with passion. All right, here we go. Let's see. It's loading up now. I love this song.
Ladies, I know what you want. You want a guy that's sweet, a guy that's tough, a feminist who likes to pay for stuff, the kind of guy that gets along with your friends without being attracted to any of them. A good boy, a bad boy, a good bad boy, a half good, half bad, half boy. Loves your brother sensitive but not weekend. Is a great lover, calls your mother on the weekend. Now you might think that this guy only exists in your mind. But guess what? You're right. If you want love, lower your expectations a few, because Prince Charming would never settle for you. If you want love, just pick a guy and love him. And if he's got a thing for feet, say fuck it, sweep me off them. Now, ladies, I know what you want.
I love that, man. But it does spark a real conversation. What do you think it's as simple as just choosing somebody to love, and that you just need to get rid of your expectations or either lower them and just say, this is a person that I'm going to commit to loving, and my love is going to activate whatever's needed here?
So for me, I don't feel like it's a matter of lowering or getting rid of any expectations. I just feel like, you know what I mean, don't be such a conformist because this person that you found yourself attracted to or starting to love or being in love with doesn't look like or doesn't act like or doesn't seem like the person that you should be with to the outside world. A lot of times people pass up on opportunities because I don't think she's pretty enough to bring around the homie. So, or, you know, she got a little extra weight on her, or she's too skinny, or she's too this, too that, too that. So I'm not going to bring her around. And then
her body too right to bring her around my brothers.
Right.
What you saying? What you saying?
Okay. Or that. So I think that if people just say, hey, this is who I love and this is who I'm rocking with, stick with that. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Even if it's outside of the box of who you usually date, it don't even matter. Like, because it's so hard to find genuine people, and then especially genuine people who you can say you love these days. So when you do, you got to hold on to that.
So you put something out there, Mike. You said that don't worry about if people feel like it's a person you shouldn't be with, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what if you want to be with somebody that dated one of your brothers?
I definitely feel like it's a conversation that should be had between you and the brother. You know what I mean? And make sure
you ain't gonna just cut her off. Like ain't no way I'm dating nobody that dated my brother. Like if that's the person I happen to fall in love with, then I need to have that conversation so I can make it official, pursue it. Okay.
Yep.
What about you, Dub?
Oh, you asking me that question?
Yeah. How do you feel about this whole idea behind what Mike was saying about don't worry about how other people feel about who you with? And would you date somebody that it was dating somebody else you were close to before because you found an interest in them?
Dating somebody, dating one of your brothers or whatever, it's a conversation that needs to be had, and it's the blessing. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, you know, this is that, this is my thoughts. You know what I'm saying? What's your take on it? You know what I mean? And just being able to get that blessing. You never know, man. When it comes to stuff like that, you know, sometimes you meet people and you put them in this position, and then they're in the wrong position. You know what I'm saying? They're not meant for you. You know what I'm saying? You probably met them in that capacity, but they're just not meant for you. They're meant for somebody else closer to you. As far as
give them a referral. You know, right. I love a good referral.
I was about to say, Donnie, you good for the referral.
I'm good for the referral. Like she be like, yeah, there's some things about you. I'm like, listen, my brother is 6'6". You know what I'm saying? If that's more your speed, the other brother is light skinned, but he's chocolate. I don't know how you figure that out, but that might be. If you like Creoles with tight eyes with freckles, he might be your man. You know. Go ahead.
What was the other part of that? Besides, what was the other part of that? Besides,
the other part was just lowering your expectations or getting rid of your expectations.
As far as the expectations thing, man. I think everybody should have standards. You know what I'm saying? I think you have to be completely realistic and honest with yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't be You can't not be honest with yourself and say, "Oh well, that don't matter. That don't matter. That don't matter." Then once you, you know, you enter in that relationship, situationship, whatever it is, and now you expect it to just turn your mind off of things that actually matter and say, "Oh well, that don't matter." Blah blah blah. So in essence, you lowering your expectations of things that you really need. Now, expectations is let me reframe that. Not so much about lowering your expectations. It's you have certain things that you need, right? But I believe like everybody has certain things that they need from a person, or the person that they're gonna be with. As far as the word expectations, everybody has them, whether they want to admit it or not. Everybody has them.
Yeah.
I don't really like to go too much off of expectations, because the reason being I don't like to go too much through expectations is because a lot of times you say, "This is what I expect, this is what I want to go for, this is what I want, do this, blah blah blah," until it happens. Then when it happens, depending on your admiration for the person, is like, okay, well, man, what do I do? You know what I'm saying? Do we fix this? Do we trash it? Do we, you know what I'm saying? Do I walk away? Because this is what I said initially was my non-negotiables, but you did my non-negotiables, but I have to stick by, you know what I'm saying, what I said the consequences was going to be. If not, then you're going to keep on doing whatever it is that I said my non-negotiables are. But once again, once you are in that situation and feelings are involved, how easy is it to stick by those non-negotiables?
I hear you on that, because it comes down to have to enforce, right? It's the 3 E's we talked about in coaching. You explain what you want, you express what you want, you explain what you want, and then you enforce what you want. That's where the consequences come in. But I always tell people, don't create consequences for people that don't meet your expectations, the consequences that you wouldn't want to incur upon yourself. Like if you don't live by the 3-strike rule, then that means that you don't mind if somebody apply that 3-strike rule to you too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I kind of, so I think I want the conversation to go in this direction. If you guys can answer this, man. I like what Vicky said. Vicky said we need realistic expectations over lowered expectations. And my question to that has always been, and I'll pose this. Well, I'm not gonna pose it to you, Mike, but this is an idea. If I met my dream come true, or if you met your dream come true, why would your dream come true want you?
No, yeah, that's a really good question. Before I get into that though, I just want to kind of I think it's important that people don't get the idea that you can make someone meet your expectations. You had your expectations before you ever even met this person. So for this person to come in oblivious to how you act in certain situations or what your expectations were, you better have been living their life a completely different way. So for you to come in and say, "These are my expectations," meet them. That's not fair.
Bro,
that's not
preach
fair.
it.
And I don't think.
Listen, too many people thought I would never get far and never supported the show. And one of my teachers pulled me out of my class.
Sorry, you just had an amen moment. I figured you deserve that in the background.
I
Go
appreciate
ahead.
it.
You know how when the organ come on and you at church?
Yes, I do.
I wasn't the same thing. Okay.
It'll work. No, but what I was saying was I feel like because I say, you know what, my expectations may be high for you, and I still want to get to know you. I still think you're an amazing person. It's not that I'm lowering my expectations, but I may have to alter or change some things around so that, you know what I mean, I can get through this getting to know you process.
Let me ask you fellas something.
Yeah.
Mike, you talking about what is an expectation?
Something you expect somebody to do.
Without using the same word in a sentence.
Behavior. I mean, it's self-explanatory. You know what I'm saying? I'm expecting you to be like this. I'm expecting you to.
What does that mean, though? I'm expecting you. What does that mean?
It's you having a thought and you want it to go in that direction. This is my vision. This is my expectation. This is my vision of what I want to happen and how I want you to behave, or how I want you to the rules that I want you to.
That sounds like a hope, though. How?
But listen, I'm getting to it. Hold on, I'm getting to it. This is what I want you to do. if it doesn't happen, because these are my negotiables in order to be with me. So this is what I'm expecting you to do. If you don't, then this is what's going to happen following that action. If you don't do these things, then this is, hey, it may not be for me. I want to read this. This is, I've read it before, you know what I mean? But this is a good time to reiterate it on there. What came to me a few weeks ago was, if you set realistic expectations, you can have realistic demands. If you set unrealistic expectations, your demands sound outlandish. Stop entertaining the bullshit, then complain about it. Figure out who you are, what you want, and how to get it. Make sure whatever you're asking for from another person, you're also able to give.
That sounds realistic. that sounds realistic. I got the go ahead.
I'll go after you. I was going to just read what I found on expectation and hope.
Oh, I was going to do
I just pulled up the definition too.
What'd you find?
So what I found was a strong belief that something will happen or be the case in the future, or a belief that someone will or should achieve something.
Okay. So I found when it talked about verses, expectation is a strong belief about the future. Hope is a feeling of optimism or a desire that something will happen, not necessarily a belief. It's a desire. Expectation is something that you anticipate. Hope is something that you desire. Anticipation always has preparation, right? If we're doing a trust fall and I expect y'all to catch me, I'm falling. I'm gonna fall back with the expectation. I'm anticipating, so I'm bracing myself for the arms to wrap around me. If I hope y'all catch me, I'm not preparing the same way as anticipation is. Expectation is the fulfillment of an expectation usually depends on others. Hope, the fulfillment of hope doesn't depend on others. Expectation may be unhealthy. Hope, more positive and healthier. Expectation, an unfulfilled expectation may hurt and disappoint you more. Hope may hurt and disappoint comparatively less. I think the biggest difference is that expectation has a lot of preparation with it. It's not just hope, like, oh, it'd be nice to happen. Expectation, I'm expecting it to happen, so I'm packing my car a certain way. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like that's why we get mad in relationships. Like, I've been working on myself and doing all these things because I knew that when I got into a relationship, I got you, Carmel, cutie. All right. Sorry. Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing for me when it comes to expectations. It's like I'm upset that my expectations weren't met because of all the preparation I put into this. It's almost like I did all this for nothing. And that's why it's dependent on another person. But for the 3 E's for Carmel Cutie, express what you want, explain what you want, and then enforce what you said you wanted.
You know, a lot of people will don't like when I say this when I have conversations, but when I tell people I don't expect anything of you, I just expect you to be human. I expect you to be you, whatever that comes with. I don't like to get myself, excited about much. You know what I mean? Having these expectations like, oh, I expect this and I expect that, especially from other people, any relationships or anything. You know what I mean? I try not to have these expectations because I know that I'm going to disappoint myself having these expectations. And people say, well, you got to have expectations because, what are you going to base things off of? And, I just expect you to be you, whatever it is. Dealing with people it's kind of simple for me in a lot of ways. I don't try to make anybody conform. I tell people what I would like. I tell people what I would go for and what I won't go for. When it comes to that, I'm gonna let people do what they do what they're gonna do. Everybody, who I mess with is an adult. So with that being the case, right from wrong, what I mean? I've already talked to you. I mean, I've told you what to do, but I may have already told you things that I like, things that I don't like, things that I'll settle for, things I won't settle for. So with that being the case, if it falls under that category of something that doesn't work for me, you're perfectly fine and capable of doing whatever it is that you want to do. If it doesn't work for me, I'm going to remove myself from the situation. I'm going to step away because chances are, if you're doing something that don't work for me, we've already had a conversation about it. We've already had a conversation as to, if that works for me, if it doesn't work for me. So we can't hear you, bro.
Would you say that people disappointing you is an expectation? Oh yeah, that was about to be disgusting. Okay. Mike, how you feel about it? Do you have expectations? Do you feel safe having them?
I feel like I used to have expectations, but I feel like when you go through things in life, you know, it tends to break down that expectation wall that you kind of build, because whether it be from disappointment, whether it be from, you know, somebody showing you that they can be trusted, you know what I mean? Both sides of the spectrum. So after a while, it's just like, look, you know what I mean? Especially when it's somebody new. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna just give you the benefit of the doubt. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I mean, life goes on. And if
I
I'm
like
right,
that.
great.
I like that. I think that the way I live, man, I live with the expectation I'm gonna get hurt, because that's how I'm going after life. Like I'm going after like I know this is probably unhealthy and probably not safe, but I'm gonna trust you anyway. I'm gonna love you anyway. I'm gonna get into this relationship. I'm gonna do this thing. Like I know it's probably gonna hurt me, but the way I've reconciled this is that not all hurt comes to harm you. Some in some ways I need to be hurt. In some ways I've built myself up in this ego, or inside this armor that the ego has created, and I need to be hurt to show myself like, yo, you're doing it wrong. That's not the way to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's almost like when I was in high school, or I was in junior high, or maybe early high school, I would buy shoes smaller than my size because they looked flyer, and it kind of just, I want to be seen a certain way, but it hurt my feet. And that need to happen for me to learn how to embrace who I am and expose my uniqueness, right? And so it's almost like you know, I meet people and like from the gate, I'm like, man, let's do this. I know that relationships can get tricky and complicated. I know I can get hurt, but I'm willing to take that risk. You know what I'm saying? So it comes to expectation that along the way, it's almost like going to the gym and saying, man, I hope I don't get sore. I hope none of this hurt. Like I know it to be part of the journey now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So when people, you know, disappoint me or surprise me, I'm like, I expected all this. I expected all of it. Not just what I want. I expected things to happen that I didn't want. I expect to be surprised by things I didn't even know that I wanted, that I should have wanted. You know what I'm saying? Just opening myself up to that, because I know all that comes with relationships, man, from what I've been told.
Okay,
Sounds
so
good.
what was it that you asked me before I had to?
I said, do you expect people to disappoint you? Is that an expectation you carry?
Yeah, I expect people to be people.
So that's an expectation.
So it's not an expectation. It's not an expectation. It's a given. When I talk about expectations, I try not to have any. My expectations is for people to be people, right? So people go through a wide range of situations, emotion, trauma, whatever it is, right? Sometimes people can not feel like being bothered. Sometimes people can be pissed off. Sometimes people can be, you know what I'm saying, sensitive. Sometimes people can be, you know, whatever, right? So I try to allow grace for people as they are being people, but I don't, you know what I mean? And, you know, like I said, what I was saying earlier, if it works for me, it works for me. If it don't work for me, I'm going to remove myself. But removing myself doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to stop, you know, dealing with you altogether. It may mean, you know what, I have you in the wrong position. So I need to remove myself. You know what I'm saying? I need to reassign your position if you still want to be in my life.
Got you. Okay, fair enough. Speaking of expectations, I think one thing that we talk about often on the show is how a lot of times people have not met up to our expectations, or we haven't met up to other people's expectations because of past issues and baggage and trauma that we've gone through in our past relationships. And so we talk a lot on this podcast about healing. So I want to bring this into the conversation about expectations.
It is not your job to convince someone to heal, grow, or evolve. And what happens when you try to force someone that you love to heal, grow, or evolve when you want them to, you rob them of the opportunity to receive their lessons that are still in the midst of their pain, chaos, addiction, self-sabotaging behaviors. Sometimes people have to go through those things so they can heal, grow, and evolve from a place that is from their spirit. If a person starts to heal, grow, evolve, or change because they want to make you happy, it may be short-lived. But when you give a person permission to be who they are Even if it's in conflict with who you are, you still give them permission to heal at the rate that their soul has intended for them to heal, not at the rate that you want them to heal, just so you can feel more comfortable in your relationship. So if that is impeding on y'all having a comfortable relationship, then that's a different story. But you should love and respect a person's soul disposition, their karmic disposition, and their soul's fulfillment enough to where you give them the room and the space to heal, grow, and evolve when their soul has told them it's time and not on your time. It is not your.
So the reason I brought that up because Dub said that he gives people whole space and grace for people to be human, and I love that because that means like that kind of tied in what she was saying. So I want to hear from W and Mike around this whole idea of what does it look like when you want something so bad or you want a relationship with a person, and you're like, if you just do this or change this or heal this, like. Have you ever thought about you're robbing them of the lesson that they need to learn about themselves that will actually allow it to be a true transformation, not just a momentary shift?
Let me, before Dub goes real quick, let me just say this woman's voice was amazing. I probably missed the first 5 seconds just because her voice, I got lost. Like, is this an angel? Golly. Sheesh.
Hold on. Let me just real quick before we go into it.
It is not your job to convince someone.
Oh, yeah.
What?
Okay. Yeah, you're right.
What?
Okay. Yeah. All right. As you were,
on you, brother.
I forgot the question. I was listening to your foolery.
I said, have you ever been in a situation where you wanted someone to, for lack of better terms, hurry up and heal, or hurry up and like transform, or hurry up and like process that because I see so much potential with you. I think we could have something great. Like I just want you to hurry up and heal so that I can be comfortable in this relationship or in this connection, or maybe even in this pursuit with you. And you saw yourself robbing them of the lesson that they needed so that that transformation could be like permanent, not just momentary.
So my thing when it came to that, it wasn't so much hurry up and heal for you. It was hurry up and heal so you can see me. It was more along the line. It wasn't so much hurry up and heal for you. It's hurry up and heal so you can see me, so you can accept me for who I am instead of trying to say, hey, you need to be like this and you need to be like that because that's what I'm used to. Or these are, I've never had to be like this with the man, or I've never, men always did this and blah, 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 blah. So it was almost like putting me in a category as to, to being just like every other man that was in this person's life, even if that man ultimately wasn't good for him. Right. So it's like, okay, well, if all these men were so great, how come you're not with them? And why are you trying to stuff me in a box to be like these same men when you don't even want to take the time to see me? So my thing was, I want you to heal from all the past hurt and all the past, trauma and situations that you've been in with other men, so you can finally just accept me for who I am and open up your eyes to be able to see who I am. Versus just saying, okay, well, you need to be cookie cutter just like every other man that I've always dated in the past. And that ain't me.
Is it fair to, so I want to ask this question because I like to go look at both sides of the coins. Is it possible that your strong desire to want to be seen stems from an area you need to be healed?
It's not about me being seen as far as, hey, look at me, look at me. It's just like when I say me being seen, it's see who I am. Allow me to be me without saying, okay, you have to be like this, 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 and this. See who my character is. See what my personality is. See, you know what I'm saying? Take a chance on experiencing me versus saying, this is all I like. And, you know what I'm saying? If this is not this, then I don't want it. Cool. You don't want it. You don't want it. But you may be missing out on something because you're trying to place me, you know what I'm saying, in some cookie cutter situation where that's not me. Take the chance to be able to see me for who I actually am.
I got a question for you though, because it sounds like that person has gone through enough life to know what they want, and they're just going after it. Like, and I hear that, especially coming from you, bro. Like this weekend, like you know what you're not gonna eat. Like you are set on that. And so it seems like you would almost have a higher tolerance or more of a respect for people who know what they want, because you are a man that knows what he wants. And it's hardly ever we can get you to bend on anything, bro. So when you see somebody else who knows what they want, is there not a respect there for them knowing what they want?
There's absolutely a respect, but in the same time, don't tell me, well, I'm not. See, so this is my thing, and I'll dive a little deeper into this conversation. So those things that when the woman was, you know what I'm saying, trying to get me to be cookie cutter is because she was being lazy. She didn't want to do what she needed to do as a woman. She wanted to just have all the attention, everything. I had to jump through hoops, flips, and just everything just to be who she wanted me to be without her changing anything, without her addressing anything from her past, without addressing, you know what I'm saying, trying to heal from any type of past pain or trauma or emotional injuries, whatever. She wanted me to coddle her and just say, okay, you know what? Every other man is used to coddling me and doing this, and I never had to change, and I had to do this and blah, blah, blah. So I need you to be the same way. No, it's not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to just change who I am completely just to coddle you from something that you don't want to take the time to try to heal from. And then in addition to that, my personality is my personality. You know what I'm saying? You can't tell me, oh, you have to do this way. You have to follow A, B, C, D, and E. If you don't, then it don't work. Cool, it don't work. I'm not the person for you because I'm not going to follow A, B, C, D, and E. You know what I'm saying? Allow me to be who I am, show you who I am, see my personality, experience me before you just say, nope, I don't even want to experience you. I want you to be Jack Bryan and all these other men from my past just in your body. No, it don't work like that.
Mike? Your brother got a good smile. Too bad he on mute. Got a good smile,
I think I'm on the other end of the spectrum as far as it comes, as far as it goes with healing. So I was speaking about the relationship I'm in right now. I was the one who needed the healing, but I was in denial about it. You know what I mean? So she saw where I needed the healing, but I refused to see it. So once I finally admitted some things and came clean about some things, and you know what I mean, really was vulnerable and transparent as far as things that I was dealing with, things that I needed to work on, I then allow her the opportunity to make a decision. If okay, this is stuff I can do. I can handle this. You know what I mean? I can handle this aspect. Some things she couldn't handle. Some things she could. But the point of the matter is, you know what I mean? It didn't that healing process in this relationship never started until I could be honest with myself. You know what I'm saying? Because if I'm lying,
I hear you.
I'm not giving her any voice or any opportunity to allow me to heal. You see what I'm saying?
No, I got you.
It's just a continuous cycle of my own bullshit until I can.
Mike Todd said something today during his sermon about delusion and how that interrupts or can conflict with your dominion that you're supposed to be walking in on this earth. Yeah. And I think something you said about it that stuck out for me was like, just it's the lack of awareness that we need to heal. And I think we've talked about this in multiple ways in many of these episodes about how we can normalize our hurt. You know what I'm saying? I'm used to limping. Ain't nothing wrong. This ain't nothing wrong with me. This is how I walk. It wasn't at one point in time, but at some point you decide to normalize it instead of work on it. Instead of doing the self-work, you decide to rationalize, and anybody who said anything about it say, oh, that you're shaming me or you're trying to make me feel bad about who I am. I'm just trying to help you see that that's not truly who you are. But that's sometimes a tough conversation to have with someone who's in delusion. And I can speak from experience. You know what I'm saying to you? Like Errol was trying to tell me things for years that I just was like, no. And, you know, it took me losing weight myself to be like, this brother was right for a whole decade. I did. I just needed to lose some weight. And you know what I'm saying? Sometimes like you are friends with these people. You need to break that relationship off. No. You know what I'm saying? They're good for me because, you know, they keep me humble. Like, no, they disrespect you and they make you feel bad about wanting a greater life. Like, you know what I'm saying? Oh, no, you know, that's my family though, man. That's my blood. You know what I'm saying? They always got my back. No, they're holding you back and you don't want to admit it because it's hard for you to fathom that blood would do that to you. 100%. But it's okay if you accept that as a fact that you can go through therapy to reshift your perspective on what family truly is and learn the difference between a family member and a relative. Yeah. You know what I'm saying to you? I think sometimes we stay in denial because we know that there's going to be a lot of work associated with facing some of these hard truths that we don't want to face about ourselves. Like the girl Dub was talking about. Like if she, you know, I don't know her, but thinking for a minute, like if I ever really had to change the things about me, I've heard what it's like when people have to go through a metamorphosis. It hurts. And people are trying to avoid that, either that hurt or that shame associated with having to admit that I've been jacked up towards people. You know what I'm saying? I've been a really bad human being certain days. You know what I'm saying? That's why I think the best practice is to show people grace, like the girl said in the video. Hold space for them to go through wherever they're at in their journey, so they can, that addiction that you want them to break free from, pray for them and show them grace. Try to support them wherever they will let you. But God is in control of that. He's going to make sure that they continue to meet these crossroads and bump their heads and hope that one day they'll just say, okay, I'm tired. That's enough. You know what I'm saying? Because if you've ever gone to an addiction meeting or anything like that, or therapy, that's something you have to enroll yourself in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying to you? I had like a friend who was an alcoholic, and we try to take him and make him like do it. But they always say this is something the person has to want for themselves. And if a person that you're interested in doesn't want it for themselves to go to therapy or to go through that healing transformation process, it's in your best interest to guard your heart above all else, because from it flows the issues of life. You're going to have to step back and say, hey, I'm not going to try to force this situation you got to want for yourself. And as much potential as I see in you, I'm going to have to let that potential sit right where it is, because that's not going to be healthy for me to try to do anything with it that you don't want to do.
Yeah, sure.
I'm listening to you, and I'm processing it. It's just something about, like, I know all too well and all too familiar with everything that you're saying, and in one sense I agree, right? You can't if a person is drowning, you can't jump in while they still fighting you. But on the same token, just something in my spirit is saying, where do you help? Where do you help without just sitting back and allow somebody else to see? Where do you help? Where do you show the love and support, without pushing them? And I say that because, coming from a situation to where, my father has been on drugs and in the street my entire life. And it's always been me trying to help, me trying to help, me trying to help, me trying to help. It's always been me trying to get him in the program and to get him clean and stuff like that. And on one hand, I know that it took for him to get to a point where he didn't want to, do those things anymore to get himself clean. But on the same token, as a loved one of his, it was still always pressed on my heart. Even if it didn't settle at that point, it was always pressed in my heart. Still tell him anyway. Still try to reach out anyway. Still tell him, even though if he go through this little drug program and he gonna eventually, go through the program and get out of the program and go back on the street, but at least he was clean throughout that year he was in that program. At least he was able to get something deposited in each time while he was getting that, going through the program. He at least had that period of time that he got period of time where he was just saying, okay, you know what? I'm gonna get it every day. I'm gonna, spend some time with God. Even if it didn't last for a lifetime, it was still a point in time that he had at least this period of clear vision, right? Even though he was doing it for me in the program or doing it for other people, he at least had that small window of clarity, even if it didn't last long. So it's kind of hard. It's one of those things it's one of those things to where it's like, I completely agree with what you were saying, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, people have to want to do it on themselves. But then on the same token, I'm trying to look at it from the other spectrum. It's just like, even if they're doing it for you and it's not going to last long, at least it gives you that opportunity to have that moment with them in that little piece of clarity, even if they're not going to keep it forever.
Got you. I think that for me, when I hear that being about the person who wants to love the person that's hurting or broken.
Absolutely.
I don't hear that. Yeah. And so for me, and I understand that because I've done it, and I know there's an error of sincerity in it, but that's also some sprinkle with some selfishness. Here's the thing that I would say. It's just like, this is advice my mentor gave me once upon a time. Just like with an appliance, if it's broken, you take it to the manufacturer. You can try to fix it and put a little sheet of paper under it so it'll be balanced. But when that paper wears thin, it's going to fall back over again, right? You can try to jimmy rig it. And sometimes we're trying to jimmy rig people we love instead of going to the manufacturer. He said, go to God. Like you asked the question in the beginning, what am I supposed to do? Only person that knows what to do with that person is the person that made that person. or the presence that made that person, the divine energy that made that person, whatever you refer to him as, God, Yahweh, Abba, go to him and say, what do you, first question, do you want me to do anything about this, or do you already have a plan? And if there is a plan, can I be a part of it? What would you have me do to bring this person into the state that you have for them, which is wholeness? You know what I'm saying? When we get out of our own head and our own desires about what I think is best and what I want for this person, ask God, is there something here that they're supposed to be learning? I put a post up a few weeks ago. Don't be so eager to help someone that you end up interfering with what God is doing for them through their struggle. You know what I'm saying to you? So it's like going to the manufacturer and saying, hey, I see this person is imbalanced or unhealthy or a whole, or, you know, they're broken or whatnot. What do you plan to do about this? And can I partner with you on that? Because I know that you know what's best. That was the advice I was giving.
So absolutely. And honestly, you know what I'm saying, in all human aspects, and I'm not denying anything that you're saying, but I'm gonna look at this as a human, right? I'm gonna look at this as an imperfect person. I'm gonna look at this through knowing that I don't always get it right. Right. I'm looking at it as like this. Okay, God, I want to go to you, and I am coming to you about this situation because I want it fixed. However, the human, the love in me, like we're all, you know what I'm saying? Like you said a few minutes ago, you talked about the selfishness on me, you know, loving that person and wanting to get them right. We all have that selfishness, right? Everybody has that selfishness. If anybody can sit up here and tell me they don't have that selfishness, they lying to themselves. Right? Because we all want the people that we care about to be better. Even if it is, you know what I'm saying? Even if they don't care, because if you got somebody high, if you got somebody in love, if you got somebody where they're not thinking clearly, they're thinking the best way that they can think at that particular time. Now, us that love you, that are watching from the outside looking in, like, damn, you know what I'm saying? I just want them to see. That's a bit of the selfishness that we want that person to fix at that time. Mm-hmm. And it's something that we all go through. We all feel it, right? So going to God, yes, that is the perfect answer. God, hey, I want this to happen. Hey, God, if it's in your will, hey, God, what do you want me to do in this situation? But in a human form, it's not always easy to just take my hands off of it. It's hard enough for me to take my hands off of stuff in my own life. You know what I'm saying? It's already hard for me enough to say, okay, God, this is too heavy here. Take this. And me completely take my hands off of it. You know what I mean? So just thinking like that was great advice. That was great advice from your mentor, right? And we've had these conversations several times. Pray about it. Sometimes God don't want you to do about it. Sometimes God is trying to teach this person a lesson. Sometimes God is, you know, that's his way of getting their attention. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, just all these different things. If you try to rescue somebody too soon, then that person is going to you and they're looking to you for their God instead of going to God as their provision provider. I get it. You know what I'm saying? It just in the human form, it's not always so easy to sit back and watch somebody suffer and not do anything about it.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying?
You're right. I'm gonna tell you what. It's hard as hell. What helped me though. I'm gonna tell you what helped me and motivated me to take my hands off of it. I was walking in denial that I couldn't make it any worse. That's the thing that started to help me. It still wasn't easy, but it became easier to take my hands off of it when God started to show me you can make this worse as much as you want to help. But see, sometimes we think that our love is so pure and divine and in its nature that this must be what's best. It could actually be what's worse. Right. And until I came to the awareness that I could make this substantially worse for this person by trying to love them the way that I think love needs to be done, not knowing that I'm not fully walking in love right now, but God is love, is when I started to see what was at stake. I was in a training and the guy taught me this thing about motivation. He said, you can motivate people into a corner. He said, motivation is stemming from love, but it's absent understanding. You can do it. Just go ahead and do this. He's like, you're putting all this homework and these mandates on a person that's already hurting and lost in their own head. And if they can't do the thing that you're saying is simple to do, they feel even worse. He said, sometimes those are the people that commit suicide, the people who've been motivated by a community of people, but nobody gave them practical resources about how to do the thing. They told them you could do it, but how do you do it? Can you walk me through it? And that's the thing we have to be careful of. We can make these things worse for people. You know, motivation, take your hands off.
The Bible says there's a way that seems right, but in the end is death. You know, not always physical death, maybe just separation. You know what I mean? But it says there's a way that seems right, but in the end is death. And I say that because a lot of times, yeah, we may be making a grave mistake by trying to help. All I'm saying is just sometimes just sitting back and watching somebody suffer is not always the easiest thing to do. You know, if you want to take your hands off and you want to feel like you're doing the right thing and you want to feel like that, and it's just it's extremely hard. Like there's been times, bro, that you watch me suffer and you try to do something about it. You want to do something about it. You trying to fix it, and there was nothing you could do. But for you sitting back and just watching me suffer, I can see how much it broke you. You know what I'm saying? You see me going through these different relationships that were just pieces of shit. You know what I mean? And just, you know, as your brother's like, damn, I need to be there. I got to do something. You know what I'm saying? I got to tell him, you know what I'm saying? Oh, she ain't shit or blah, 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 blah. But as much as, you know, I needed to see for myself certain situation, I can still tell it was hard for you to just sit back and watch. Yeah. And even if it was, you know what I'm saying, God's still telling you, hey, don't do anything about it, just let me do it. It's still something still, but I have to say this, God, but I have to try, but I have to do this, but I have to do that. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, like, those situations are very easy to say, okay, I'm gonna just let God do his thing, until you sit and watching God do his thing and you see them suffering in the midst of God even doing more. His thing. Right. Mm-hmm. And you just got to sit back and watch it. Like, oh, I want to, but I can't. And they looking at you, please. It's like when you take when you have a kid and you take your kid to the doctor and they got to get a shot. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what it feels like personally because I'm not a father, but I see parents like, but baby, it's good for you. I'm sorry. And the kid is, and they getting the shot and they just got to take it. And they just got to sit back. Yeah, that was my interpretation of a little kid crying, going crazy. But they just got to take it. You know what I'm saying? And the parent have to just sit back and it's like, no, it's for your own good.
I told my mom is big. I'm big on, like, let me go through this. The Bible says that Jesus learned obedience through his suffering, right? And it's like he went through all these things and it taught him how to walk in his full purpose and identity. And so even as a young age, my mom has always been wanting to help me do this and do that. I said, Mom, back up. And I'll always use the story about how Mary had to watch Jesus carry the cross to Golgotha. Because if she would have interrupted the suffering he must endure to be at the right hand of the Father and to save all of humanity, where would that put all of us? Again, when you zoom out of how you just feel and remember that God is allowing this to happen for a reason bigger than you may understand, yes, it's definitely going to be challenging, but you find a way. I found a way, and I found a way to motivate other people to just take your hands off of it and trust God and ask God to give you comfort while you have to witness this happen. Mm-hmm. You got anything to add, Mike?
Nah.
All right. I got something. Mike got something to add on this one, ladies and gentlemen. I'm pretty sure he's going to want to, it's called Black Men Gotta Do Better.
Black men, see y'all in here. Black men, we have to do better, okay? We have to do better, all right? Black men, we have to do better at choosing white women because...
What's up, Mike?
That's funny. Nah, you know me. I love who you love.
But as for me in my house,
I mean, I think if Janae was white, I'd still love her.
I ain't never heard you. That's interesting. I mean, her skin complexion wouldn't change, but what do you think would be different?
That's facts. That's facts.
Did I hear her say wow? That was her? Okay, yeah, that was her. All right. Crack ass. What do you think would be different about Jay if she was white? That's interesting. What would be different about your relationship if she was white?
You know what? It's funny you say that because we went out to eat with another couple last night for their anniversary, and it was an interracial couple, a young black lady and a white guy at the table next to us, and they were arguing back and forth all night long, all night long, and we were like, man, what? I think one of us said it's because he don't get it. He don't get what she's trying to say because of that cultural blockage. You know what I'm saying? And it's something interesting. I don't want to say weird. It's something interesting about cultures. You can learn about a culture in school, and people can tell you about their culture. You can eat their food. You can go through and do some of their rituals and customs, but you can never be a part of their culture, no matter how hard you are.
That's like when me and Dub talk about the strip club, and then you be trying to move your hips around, but it's still something ain't right. It's just
something just ain't right.
Something just ain't right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I'm not saying that people should not date interracially. I'm like I said, love who you love, but I just think that for me, like we were just saying about if Jay was white, what would the biggest, I guess, not issue, but I guess the biggest difference would be, and I think it's that not understanding my culture. Like, yeah, you see it on TV, you hear about it, we're together, so you kind of understand it, but you don't know unless you know, unless you
like when you come home and you want to like punch the air because the police have been messing with you all day, like
right.
And she know to hug you because she knows.
She knows exactly. Yeah.
Interesting.
So now I'm gonna ask you a question. I'm gonna ask both of y'all. I'm gonna pose a question to both of y'all.
All right.
Is it worse for somebody to understand your culture because they're a different race, or somebody of your own race to know your culture but don't do anything about the issues that's going on in your culture?
What's worse?
Yeah. Because see, the reason why I say that is because it's like this, like, and I'm not talking about every situation. I'm just talking about, just specific situations, right? And I'm speaking from a man's point of view, right? If a man goes and get a white girl, right? If a black man goes and get a white girl, or a Latina, or you know what I'm saying, somebody, any, Asian, something like that, out of there, whatever, Peruvian, exactly. So if black man goes and get that, he's being looked at by black women like, oh, she's not gonna understand you, blah blah blah. This is your culture, but she treats you a certain way, right? She respects you as a man. She treats you, you know what I'm saying, as such. Versus you get into a relationship with a black woman and she understands your plight as a person, have most lack of support. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not getting the support. You may understand, but I got to deal with your mouth. I have to deal with your disrespect. I have to deal with your lack of submission. I have to deal with, you know what I'm saying, for any black man is not part of your culture, right? That respects you, that treats you well, don't understand your plight, versus somebody who understands your plight but still is disrespectful to you and still makes you have a harder life.
What you think, Mike?
That's actually a really good question. But for me, I would prefer the person that maybe is not a part of my culture, but at least trying to understand it. Maybe even, you know what I mean, doing what they can to try to help. You know what I'm saying? But I think that I would have a bigger issue with the person that was a part of my culture, a part of my race, whatever you want to call it, and it's just like, fuck it.
All right, I'm gonna agree with Mike on that. I think for me, it comes down to a man knowing what he wants most. Yeah. Do you want somebody who can relate to you? Do you want somebody who does this and that and that? For me, what I want most is a helpmate. And if whatever race she may be, if the one that wants to help the most is pretty much probably the one I'm gonna pick.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I just pose that question because you hear it a lot in the community. Well, why he get a white girl? Why he get a Peruvian? Why he get a, you know, whatever? Why he get this? Why he get that? When all these other sisters, you know, these black men don't want sisters. No, it's not that we don't want sisters. It's just like, this is the person who is right for me. Like, you know what I mean? Hey, I may have tried with sisters, and the sisters that I've tried with is just like, with some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? But this is the particular person that's right for me. Whether it be a sister, whether it not be a sister. You know what I'm saying? But it's not like, you know, and sometimes people do and say, nope, I'm not dating sisters. I don't give a damn what it is. Some people are just like that, right? But some people are not like that, and some people just end up with whoever they end up with because that was the person for them. You know what I'm saying? It's not for anybody to take offense to it. It's not for anybody to say, look down your nose at somebody. No, you just wasn't right for me. Check yourself. Why didn't we work? Even if, you know what I'm saying, we tried and we both gave it our all, we probably just don't even work good together, period.
I got something for y'all, man. We'll go to halftime after this, but it's exactly what we're talking about. Here we go.
So she's not younger than me, she's not skinnier than me, and she's not prettier than me. Then why couldn't it just be me?
She's softer than you. She's quieter than you. She doesn't yell at me. She doesn't call me an idiot or tell me to shut up all the time. She listens to me. She's nice to me. She doesn't make me feel like the only thing stopping her from being happy is me.
I'm gonna just play it.
Yeah,
One more time. One more time. This is it. This is why.
So she's not younger than me, she's not skinnier than me, and she's not prettier than me. Then why couldn't it just be me?
She's softer than you. She's quieter than you. She doesn't yell at me. She doesn't call me an idiot or tell me to shut up all the time. She listens to me. She's nice to me. She doesn't make me feel like the only thing stopping her from being happy is me.
She said she wasn't younger, skinnier, or prettier. She was older, fatter, and ugly, and I still chose her. That's what I heard.
Go ahead, Doug.
Hey, did you see the stupid look on her face when he told her all the stuff that she was doing?
Yeah.
She just sat there and just looked like, oh.
Because a lot of this is gonna be a touchy subject, but this is why some women, I don't want to say a lot of women, some women miss the point, or you think that if I get the big ass and the big titties and the big lips and do all of this extra stuff, then that's what'll get them and that's what'll keep them. This video right here goes to show you that, yeah, we like to see that. We do. We like to see that. It's nice sometimes, and it looks good, but that ain't what's going to keep a man at the end of the day. That ain't what's going to, that outside, because that's all going to go away. That's all going to fade. And it's funny that woman, the first thing she went to is all physical appearance, physical stuff, because she thinks, like some women do, like that's what's going to keep them. That's what's going to make them stay. And he like, nah, B. That's not it at all.
I think out of everything he said, I like the fact he said she's nice to me. Do you not understand how far that goes with some men?
Absolutely.
Forget that. Do you know how far that goes with me? You cooperate.
Yes.
You're nice and you cooperate. Like, I'm not saying that you listen to everything I do, but there's still, even in our disagreements, there's a strong sense of cooperation. Like, you never forget that we're a team, even in our disagreements, and we're trying to figure out whose way we gonna do it. You're still cooperative and you're nice, bruh. And I don't know if that's because of what I've gone through in certain relationships. It might be 80% of that, but I think that at the core, people just like nice people.
Yeah,
whole people like nice people. Let me fix it.
That's good. Prerequisite.
Sometimes nice guys get the short end of the stick from people who are used to toxic and normalized it, but different conversation.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how, you know, the new chick that he's with, that's how you still look better than her, but he's happier now. Or, you know, vice versa. You know what I'm saying to you?
Yeah.
Listen, he
Yeah.
said she said some things. She said, well, she's not younger,
Not younger, not prettier, and not skinnier.
not skinnier. Maybe he like older, thick women, and maybe her definition of pretty is not his definition of pretty. In addition to,
Yep.
Well, he chose her at some point. I'm assuming that they're a couple or married or something. The way that they were talking to each other, like he stepped out. It looks like of his commitment.
Yeah,
which I'm not trying to justify at all, but I am leaning towards like, yo, here's might have been the root of the issue. You guys need to have a conversation around the amount of niceness that I need from you. Why you keep yelling? What, you called me an idiot?
Yeah.
And tell me to shut up all the time?
Yeah.
What?
You know? You know, in the grand scheme of things, I'm not saying my man wasn't that handsome, but he sure is happier now.
And there it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, we reached that point of the show that we like to call halftime. Half the time we're gonna be on, half the time we're gonna be asking you for your money. So if you are looking to invest in what we're doing here on the podcast, we have a Cash App, $. Maybe this will help. This is helping us to stay on the air. This is helping us continue to bring you guys this content that you say you love, that you jump in our inboxes and share your testimonies with us about how the podcast has impacted and changed your life, or the people that you do life with. You share content with them and it's been beneficial. Here's an opportunity for you to be a part of the community and help us keep this going. Cash App, maybe this will help. If you don't have Cash App, you can go to our email account, our Gmail account. Maybe this will help podcast. Maybe this will help podcast. We can hook you up with our Zelle and our Venmo or our Zelle and Venmo, or, you know, meet us on the corner with an envelope. That's how we do it. Or our OnlyFans. All right. Yep. Appreciate that, Mike. Mike is on this. You know, Mike's been naked in his videos on I am Michael. What I'm about to say? I am Michael David. Yeah, I am Michael. Yeah, I am Michael David on Instagram. If you want to see Mike's feet and you want to see him in a bubble bath, just go I am Michael David on Instagram, and you can see a sneak peek of his OnlyFans page. That face he's making right now with the light skin squint, he does that all over his OnlyFans. You want to talk about it?
Hold up, wait. What is the light skin squint?
So apparently him nor Carrie know what it is because I guess they naturally do it, so they don't know when they're doing it. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
You said me? Were you talking to the lightest nigga on this podcast about me being light skin squint?
I said that's him and Carrie. Double Carrie.
So chocolate guys do it, but it's called a light skin squint.
Yeah, because y'all do it naturally.
Yeah. Damn. He said y'all, Dub. This is Dub. This is Dub squint. That's how Dub squint.
Spirit animal. That's Dub's spirit animal.
Oh man. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, if you can go into the chat, tell us what's been your favorite part of the show so far. I know we've had some comments from earlier. There's a few I want to read. I think we were talking about expectations earlier. Angelica, Jelly Marie. What up, Jelly? She said expectations is so dangerous. It's in the same category as the word potential. It boils down to remember people have free will and can change daily. You got to almost work on your needs daily and with your partner and vice versa in order to maintain a healthy relationship. Because one day they might have it spot on. And you'd be like, yo, you are perfect. This is exactly what I wanted, expected, and needed. And the next day they could change. Like, but what happened to that? Like, it's a day by day thing. Also, like what Portia said, many people walk around for years unhealed, wounded, hurt people. This creates walls on many levels that ends up imprisoning ourselves. We just learn to walk around bleeding out on all relationships we enter. The key is to heal. It's hard but beautiful journey. Only then are we able to allow, receive, recognize love when it enters our world. This has been good so far, man.
Yeah, it has. Also, ladies and gents, if you're not following, go ahead.
That's his Amber McJellin. He got a squint when the lights hit his skin because it gets brighter. Jesus. Amber, why don't you tell us who he is? I just want to see if you want to tell us who the he is you might be referring to. Go ahead, Mike.
That'll be our last comment. If you got
Doug gonna get her kicked off the show.
Right. If you guys are not already following us on our socials, please go do so. Instagram, Facebook, as well as YouTube. Maybe this will help the podcast. Maybe this will help the podcast on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Give us a follow.
All right, man, fellas, y'all ready for the second half? Dub over there cupcaking. What you doing?
You'll see on IG what I just now sent you.
Oh shoot!
Dope.
All right, was it this?
Nah, bro.
Okay.
She right there next to you. You got to send you that. Oh, my bad. Cat's out the bag. It's my fault.
All right. All right. So here we go. We'll start light, then we're gonna go into something a little bit.
I've really enjoyed talking to you.
Likewise, we should link up.
But I noticed your profile didn't have your height on it. How tall are you?
I'm 6'5".
Thank God.
I noticed your profile didn't have a weight listed. How much do you weigh? Yeah, like how much do you weigh though? Like when you step on the scale, what does it read back? Does it read back anything? I mean, like you're thinking all about, you need to know like the numbers. Like how much do you weigh? I mean, if my height matters, then your weight matters.
I've really enjoyed talking to
you.
Yep. Listen, that's yes, agreed.
That's wild. I want to hear you guys talk about this because I've only one woman has ever asked me how tall was I. Only one has ever asked that. So let me hear you guys' experiences with this whole your height and weight with women conversation.
So my thing is this: how come there's questions that you can't ask women? Why can't you ask women these questions? Why is it? Oh, you're not supposed to ask a woman the question of her age and her weight. Why? I really want to know. Your weight is your weight. I see what you look like. Do you not realize that? I see what you look like. So why not put a number to it? Why not, you know what I'm saying? Like, you act like if you don't tell me your weight, I don't see what you look like. Whether big, small, or whatever. I see you. Even when you try to wear the certain clothes to hide certain things, I still see you.
So if you see them, then why would you ask how much they weigh?
The same reason why if you're already taller than a woman, she still asks how tall you are.
You know.
But what's the reason? I don't. That's funny. I'm taller than you,
right? Because I think people are so fixated on certain things, like, oh, I need my guy to be this tall because of this, or I want to feel secure, or I need my woman to be this weight because this societal standpoint of saying this is what she should be. I don't give a damn about.
All right.
You know, people are just stupid.
Ali said, I get asked how much I weigh, and they are normally about 40 pounds off when I make them guess. When I make them guess. I thought it said, you got to read slow, because I thought it said when I get undressed. When I make them guess. That's much better.
Question is, I ain't trying to be rude to me. Are there... Question.
Hey, say the question again, bro. My internet went out. What'd you say?
So the question is, are they normally off, or are they trying to be nice?
Oh, snap.
Because God, that's one of the things we do. We're gonna go super under because we know if we go over, that's gonna be.
You know the rule is whatever you're thinking is 10 years younger and 30 pounds lighter. That's like the 10 and 30. Whatever you say, how would you think I am? 10 years younger. How much you think I weigh? 30 pounds lighter. That is the safe. That's chivalry, is what that is. Yeah, that's the equivalent of holding the door open at a restaurant. Because if you tell what you're saying, all doors are shut. You probably about 45, 210.
No, I'm 38 and I weigh 183.
Right.
Listen, I wonder why that. Well, I know for certain people, I know we've had this conversation on the show before, especially with Carrie was on the show. He talks about the height component a lot, and I think that for certain women, either their father being a tall person and them equating people over 6 foot to, you know, masculinity and those kind of things because of the culture that, you know, that they grew up in or the customs that they're used to, which I can understand. You know, taller, more muscular men can make you feel more safe, but I don't understand the weight part for a woman. I don't understand why that's
a
it.
big issue.
I mean, I would say ask what your body fat percentage is more than how much you weigh. I think that matters more than actual, you know, how much you weigh. Because when I see some of these women that are thick, I'm like, I love thickness, but you know, how much of that is big, you being big boned, and how much of that is, you know, just being lacking discipline. How much of that is unhealthy.
That's right. I get that.
Mm-hmm. And then, you know what, even when it comes to that too, you know what I'm saying? Like one woman's 5'3", 200 pounds can be completely different from another woman's 5'3", 200 pounds.
It's true. When they carry it in their elbows, it just looks different. But they're comfortable though. I mean, it depends on what you want at the end of the day. You want to cuddle, might be a good look. You know what I'm saying? Okay. I'm gonna move on. Here we go, gentlemen.
I get it.
Thank you. Thank you, Mike. Because people, I thought we was having this conversation, I think in San Diego, about like people thinking like they know the kind of woman that I would, you know, like. But man, I like, you know, she like 30% memory foam. I ain't nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying to you? No?
Yep.
Y'all can't hear me?
Say memory foam? Yeah.
I understand though. I agree. I agree.
Thank you. Dub.
Memory foam.
Dub, remember. So me and Dub were talking out there about I always told you guys about the two things, the ankles and the eyebrows. And we had to add the third, the nostrils. I like a good set of like full nostrils, like the kind as you like Mike said, the kind looking for air. They just flare up and they just kind of stay there. Like I love a good pair of flared nostrils with the eyebrows and the ankles.
What you gonna?
I want to look at them.
Oh, never mind.
And then
go to the next video.
All right, you living right because you know how to answer your question. All right, don't be sending us no pictures of your nostrils. You can send them straight to me.
Men don't care about the big old lips.
Yes, they do.
And the women are doing that for themselves.
Yeah.
Because the men don't care about it. The men would rather a woman change her stinking attitude, but the women will go out there like, oh, I'm going to change this, I'm going to change that. If you look at a man and the man said, yeah, he's fat, he'll go and hit the gym. What's the woman go and do? Get a BBL, get her lips done, put on her makeup, put on her hair, and stay the big old fat person that she is and say, oh, it's body positivity. The men don't even want that. The women are not getting all this cosmetic surgery for the men. They're getting it for themselves. What man wants a woman that's going to turn around, go and have an operation, and can't sit on a plane because her ass has been injected or been interfered with? She got to lie there on her stomach. You think the men want that? I worried about some of the men because they must go out with a woman, and then when they wake up in the morning, they think, who the hell is she? By the time you take everything off, women need to change their attitude before they change their makeup. The same way how women can go out there and learn to put makeup on, learn to cook, learn to wash by hand, learn to please a man.
That is so
She's right.
For who? Men don't care about the big old.
Wow.
She went in.
Those last couple bars. Yeah, buddy. Sheesh. You know what I love about that is that it's a woman saying it. Because if it was a dude saying it, oh, we'd be the scum of the earth. Oh, you weak, or you know, all this other stuff. But I can appreciate that another woman had the guts enough to say that.
And that's not a woman, that's an auntie, man. Like
that is somebody's auntie, 100%.
She's speaking to all the lost ones out there. I'll tell you guys, but you guys know my stance. I'm not opposed to any kind of plastic surgery. It never bothered me at all. Do you guys have a preference? Would you choose natural if you had a choice, or are you like whatever makes you happy? It's fine with me.
For me, I would prefer natural. Not to say that I'm opposed to certain things, you know, certain things I'm like, okay, whatever. But I would rather natural. I would rather you have a gym body than a surgical body. You know, I would rather, and what I mean by gym is I'd rather you work for your curves than, you know, just going up under the knife. Will I not accept somebody because they had that? No, I wouldn't say that. You know what I mean? But I would tell somebody, hey, you don't need that shit. You know what I'm saying? Or Like a lot of times, certain things that they get, I don't agree with the way it looks. It's not so much about the surgery. It should just look stupid.
So she said in the video they're not doing it for men, they're doing it for themselves. Anyway, so is it your place to even have an opinion about what their body looks like if they're doing that for them?
It's not so much your place per se, but it will in some cases affect your attractiveness to them.
So if you think it looks stupid, then I mean you just wouldn't be in a relationship with them then, right?
It wouldn't necessarily say that you wouldn't be in a relationship. I mean, there's a lot of stupid things about people that I've seen that I was in relationships with. But I mean,
so if you was in a relationship with somebody who looked stupid and acted stupid, would you still be smart?
Well, if it looks stupid, I couldn't just, you know what I'm saying, just dismiss them because they look stupid.
A mile away.
I couldn't dismiss them because they look stupid. You know what I'm saying? I just, especially if they treated me well,
I would.
If they treated me well and some things about them look stupid, I mean, I'm not saying everything about them.
Like a clown with a kind heart. I got you.
No. Okay, so look, check this out. This is real shit. Like, I can be involved with somebody, right? And some things about me look stupid, right? To her. Some things about me look stupid. So, wow.
I hate Sheila. I hate her. Kick her off the show. Get my knees done. Get my knees. Yo, that's the old school way of trying to tell a woman's age. They say you look at her knees because the old guy said that it's like a tree. You know, you look at the rings on the tree to tell how old the tree is. Said you look at the woman's knees and you could tell no matter how much makeup she put on.
And right here too.
Yeah.
You look at all that.
Yeah.
It's like,
it's
man,
2 different shades.
That redwood been standing for a long time, huh?
No, but if they got like layers in there, that means the perfume holds longer, and that's a plus. In between they smell nice. What? Y'all didn't go to the big girl club out there? They always smell great. How'd you figure? Because the layer of fragrance gets stuck in between, and it's gonna last longer. I love it. Hug me, hold me.
But what if the fragrance don't get stuck in that layer? What if
why are we doing
get stuck in that layer?
They clean. They real clean. You don't date big girls. You don't know. That's fine. I'm standing up for my big girls. I'm standing up for them. They are clean.
Can we tap into this right here? The love is blind thing. And I feel like I've said this a few times on the show. You know, when you first meet a person, you don't love them, right? When you meet a person, the conversation may be great, but if I see you from across the room, the reason that I'm gonna approach you. I know Donnie said before the way she interacts with her friends, but if she's by herself, sipping a drink, ain't talking to nobody, the reason that I'm gonna go walk over to that bar and sit down next to you and spark up a conversation, especially is because I like what I see. So I can't get to the love part before I get to the introduction. And the introduction 9 times out of 10 is coming. Because,
so you telling me you ain't ever had an ugly girl just snuff you? You be like, God, I'm into you. I can't look at you, but I'm into you. God, got me. Ain't never happened to you?
I can't look at you.
Got me. You ain't never been snuffed by a mutt duck? What you telling me?
It had nothing to do with anyway. Can we so that's my
you heard that, yes, right?
Love is blind. Golly, these two niggas here, boy.
So check this out. So this is my thoughts on that. Love is blind. Love could very well be blind, but you also have attractiveness. You also have a couple other things that goes in that may not be on the love aspect of it, but
listen,
they're the ingredients that make up that whole smoothie.
God is love and God ain't blind, so I ain't going for it. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love is long suffering, but it ain't blind.
I think that phrase, what I feel like is trying to be said is that love doesn't prioritize physical beauty.
But what if it does? Because
okay,
like Carrie say all the time, looks is important.
But that's what I'm saying. That's why I made the comment that love may be blind, but there's other things that goes in that's not quote unquote love.
Right. That's facts.
Jay Money, I ain't never seen the show. Have you guys seen the show Love is Blind?
I never knew a show existed.
Yep. Netflix.
Is it kind of what we talking about? Or are we missing a mark?
No, it is. They
is it like blind dating?
Yes, basically. But they get married.
I love it. Take a risk.
Actually, we're gonna sign Donnie up for that.
I'm dating somebody. Exclusively. Wow. I can't go on the show. I'm under contract right now.
But why did my heart drop? Like, oh. Cat is out the goddamn bag now. Sheesh.
Hey, are you saying you like him, bro?
You think he's gonna lose his brother? You're not gonna lose your brother. This is why I didn't want to do this brotherhood thing. I knew a woman gonna come and steal my brother.
He said my heart dropped. Damn.
Oh man. So this is what I was gonna say. I was gonna say what Aisha said. Aisha said love at first sight. And so when you talked about seeing somebody across the room, it's not love, it's a visual. My question is, what about love at first sight?
They love how they look.
Do you love? Okay.
What do I know about you to love from across the room? What do I know about you to love from across the room?
I think love at first sight is kind of like a phrase or ideology that's reserved for people who like deal with vibrations and energy. And they're like, yo, it's a connection. It's something crazy. I feel like I've known you a couple of lifetimes, and that's how they maybe, describe, or I can relate to that.
But again, there's interaction. So it's not at first sight because there's been interaction. That's my point.
In your imagination.
So, okay, so this is
got it. Okay.
This is my thoughts on love at first sight.
Like plastic surgery.
Not saying that it exists, not saying that it don't exist, but are we, once again, is it really love at first sight, or is it just the connection at first sight?
Depends on what you think love is, because some people say love is just a choice. Love is neither one of y'all read before that I do. Clearly, I have a whole chapter about love at first sight.
I rebuke that. I read it 1.5 times.
Listen, once again, we have this conversation all the time about what love really is, and apparently, love means different things to different people, right? Gotcha. So once again, when we get back to the core of things, is it love at first sight, or is it something else at first sight, but people are calling it love?
How my body loves you, my spirit loves you, and my soul loves you might be different things. And I take that back because somebody explained to me God's Trinity. They said, how can he be the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit? And the guy said, that's how he represents himself in different dimensions. In the carnal flesh dimension that we live in, this 3D world, that's Jesus. That's the representation of God. In the spirit world is Paraclete, the Holy Spirit. And then whatever realm God is outside of everything, that's that realm. So he said it's not different persons, it's him representing himself in different dimensions. And so when I look at what love is, or what love could be towards another person, it could be how my spirit, my soul, and my carnal nature want to express my attraction or my longing or my choice of you. My thoughts.
Okay.
Like my flesh can love you and my spirit and soul will be like agitated by you. I mean, I don't know. It's just that I think that's a great place for the conversation to start for me.
Yeah, that's a real life thing.
But there's things my flesh wants to do to you.
Hey.
With the nostril. Okay. The nostril. Listen. All right. I got something for y'all. Unless y'all got some more. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I'm good.
All right. I'm about to go with this one right here.
You know you've met not the one, but a right person.
I think the misconception is that is a constant. It comes in moments, the moment when she texts you something and it proves that she was listening. The moment when you're doing nothing with your partner and realize this is what I want to do. You know, the moment you see someone treat your child a certain way, or you come home and the car's washed. It's in the day-to-day. It's in the moments when someone buys you a donut or holds your leg or says something or reads you a poem on a very popular podcast. In these moments,
that's great.
You collect the coins, you know, and you're like, this is I'm at the right place and we're meant to be.
How do you know you've met a
That was really good. Sheesh.
Collect those moments, and you're like, yo,
damn, that was a really good explanation, bro.
I liked it. What you think, Dub? I like that.
I'm kind of indifferent.
Okay.
It was nice to listen to. And I say I'm indifferent because I'm more along the lines of love is a choice type thing, you know, but you also feel certain things and you see certain things. And sometimes you can have a person doing all those things. It's like, oh, wow, oh, wow, oh, wow. Like a lot of everyday stuff, so to speak, or a lot of coins per se. And you still don't see it. You still don't have that connection. You still don't have that feeling, that thought of like, yeah, this is the one. You know, sometimes with other people that you may not even have, that person may not even be doing those things, but you may have that connection, and in your mind you thinking this is the one, but in their mind they're not thinking that you're the one.
Let me add something to this conversation. I love what you're saying because I agree. I've seen you break your back in relationships for people who weren't present enough to see your effort and to see how much you were doing exactly what they needed, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that with that being said, you'll never really know love, or you'll never even know the moments that you've been waiting for if you're not present.
Mm-hmm.
If you're so scatterbrained or you're multitasking or multi-dating, like it's going to be hard for you to be aware to what a person is truly doing to you and for you,
Right.
so you can appreciate it.
Right.
The young lady that I went on a date with, we had a conversation about, all right, I'm dating exclusively, right? And I was like, well, I had already made up my mind I wasn't gonna, and this was a long time ago. I don't like to date more than one person at a time because I don't feel like I have the capacity to truly be present to two applications at once.
Mm-hmm.
To truly like get a good look at what I'm looking at. Because if you're preoccupied with trying to keep your file system correct in your head and your heart, and one person is doing all these great things, you're gonna miss some stuff that could be those moments that like, oh, I got something phenomenal here, because you're in that moment, but you're also like, okay, so what is this person doing? Okay, and I know I gotta go on a date next Friday with this. Like, it's something about being present. A lot of us are missing. We're even missing what God is doing in our lives because we're not present. We have so many things going on. We're burning the wick on both ends. Like we have all these projects, and we don't sit and just spend quiet time with ourselves and reflecting on all that God has done in our life. And I think that damages any relationship. If I don't sit and think about, damn, you know what I'm saying, the things that Dub even cares about when he talks to me as his brother, I'm saying, or Mike sending me lunch money, that stuff can go right past my radar if I'm not present to our relationships. And if it passed my radar, we won't have any depth because I won't have any equity built with this person because I'm not present to what's the effort that's actually being put into the relationship.
Yeah. Good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I put a video up on my Instagram and tagged the Maybe This Will Help the page, and maybe this will help the page.
Maybe this will help the page.
I'm gonna play that video because a few people chimed in. They were looking forward to hearing it tonight. So see what you guys think.
A lot of us women don't even realize we're losing to our own game. We're letting our trauma and our past dictate our future, which is really unfortunate. Those women always want to talk about who hurt them, and how somehow they're always running into men who don't care about them. But I've really yet to hear women start admitting that they did not take the necessary steps to heal in order to find another partner. Women, it's okay to take a step back and let your body breathe. We're not taking accountability and admitting that we are a lot of the time a part of the process in which ruins a relationship. I see way too many women that are on the look for attention, validation, and holes to fill. A lot of the time, we are the problem that we're always running away from, and we're not seeing it because we've adapted a victim mindset. A lot of us women don't even realize we're losing to our own game. We're letting our trauma.
Y'all got any comments about this victim mindset?
I
Can you run
think
it back?
What you said? Run it back.
Yeah, run it back. I was listening. I'm just trying to process everything that you were saying.
Did you have something to say, Mike, before you run it back?
No, I'll say it afterwards.
Okay.
A lot of us women don't even realize we're losing to our own game. We're letting our trauma and our past dictate our future, which is really unfortunate. Those women always want to talk about who hurt them, and how somehow they're always running into men who don't care about them. But I've really yet to hear women start admitting that they did not take the necessary steps to heal in order to find another partner. Women, it's okay to take a step back and let your body breathe. We're not taking accountability and admitting that we are a lot of the time a part of the process in which ruins a relationship. I see way too many women that are on the look for attention, validation, and holes to fill. A lot of the time, we are the problem that we're always running away from, and we're not seeing it because we've adapted a victim mindset. A lot of us women don't even realize we're losing to our own game. We're letting our trauma.
Okay, go ahead, Mike.
So what I would say is I think that's the narrative that culture has put out there, and a lot of women and some men is I want to say a lot of women. Some women and some men as well have bought into that, and that narrative kind of goes like, you know what I mean? It's no more good men, or all the good men are taken, or you know what I mean? My last man wasn't shit, and the next man probably not going to be shit either. I don't need a man. All of these narratives that we hear about and see all day, every day, and now some women have bought into that. But in my opinion, that's not necessarily true, because what none of these narratives say, hey, let me look at myself first, see if I'm the problem, and then make my assessment. Because I've learned, even for myself in my relationship I'm not in now, I've learned that I need to look at myself first before I speak, before I accuse, before I say, no, this is. I got to look at myself first. How did I contribute to whatever my issue is? Because usually it's my own issue.
That's something that I learned from one of my friends as well. Like, whatever you're about to complain about, look at yourself first. When they do bring something to you, like Dub always says, before you start talking about, oh, will you do this? Really have an honest look at yourself. And my one of my friends told me a while ago, the only person who can fix it is the person who broke it. So always check to see if you broke it or if you contributed to the breaking, and then own up to that before you try to put a mirror in anybody else's face.
100%.
I like what she was saying. I like what she was saying because it was from a woman's perspective, taking accountability and knowing that, you have to look in the mirror. Like sometimes, hey, women, sometimes we are the problem. Sometimes, this could be this and this could be that and stuff like that. And that's kind of like, it was kind of getting to what I was talking about at the beginning of the show, when it was just like, she wasn't really able to see me because of everything else. It was always a comparative thing. So, I love for people to take accountability. I am a man. I'm not into men, so I don't give a shit about what men do. So sorry, ladies. Listen, that's not my fight. So I don't care what these guys are doing. So whatever the complaint is in regards to men, if it's not about me, personally, sorry to say, but I don't care. I don't care about the complaint. You know what I'm saying? That other men doing. But when I hear women taking accountability for something, like that means so much to me. It means so much to me when I hear a woman take accountability, because men talk about that all the time. Men talk about, amongst each other, and even say it to other women, like women do not take accountability for things. So when I hear a woman taking accountability for it, it's something special to me.
I like it.
What you got?
I like it. How about you? About to say something, Mike?
No, I'm saying, what you got?
I about to say, even with me, even listening to this video, I was doing what Mike was saying, like kind of trying to identify, do I ever put on the victim? Do I ever play the victim role? And I'm careful about that that title, because sometimes you were actually the victim
in real life, right?
Of abuse or of a crime or whatnot. So you're not playing the role. But I wonder sometimes if I try to milk that. You know what I'm saying? It's sometimes if I heal, then I can no longer use that story to leverage people to treat me a certain way.
brother, that's so on point because I used the my relationship with Dennis mom for a long time as a crutch on. So I would so you know, I don't need to go to therapy because I know what the issue is. The issue is what she did. You know what I mean? And it kept me from a lot of good relationship. It kept me from being able to be honest with myself and with my partner and with friends. You know what I mean? And until you let go of those crutches and those like you said, those false narratives, really, or even if it's a real narrative, like you said, but until you decide that you
It's
don't want
manipulation.
that's all it is at the end of the day. That's all it is. Manipulation of yourself and whoever it is that you know are in a relationship with. Yeah.
It's wild though, because those things can be tricky. You know what I'm saying? To be real sneaky. Like, you know that I think what we see is that when someone feels sorry for you, they have a tendency to cater to you and do certain things for you. So the idea behind this narcissistic behavior that we can all sometimes walk in is, how can I make people feel sorry for me so that
And I
I
can
can
get
get
away
certain
with more.
treatment? I wouldn't even go in that route, but okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. It's almost like, so I'm understanding the victim mindset a little bit more. It's almost like when you go to like someone like if you old enough to know the movie New Jack City, you know what I'm saying to you, Nino Brown had the victim mindset when he hit the stand. He's like, if I'm going down, everybody going down with me. They took advantage of me. They said they would kill my family. Like, he was the one who was running all of it. He was the biggest manipulator, the drug dealer, but it took on a victim mindset to sway the judge and the jury to feel bad for him when he was really the bad guy.
Yeah.
And sometimes we do that in certain situations. Like, I stepped out because my dad stepped out on my mom, and it's all I know. It's like,
but you're a grown
you want me
man
to
that
feel
can make
bad
your
for
own
you
decisions.
because
Yeah.
it's like
yeah.
nobody ever loved me, so I don't know how to love you right. What are you doing about that though? Because in my heart, I still want to have compassion and empathy for you, but what are you actively doing to change that? Because it sounds like you're settled in it, and you're settled to the degree that you want me to settle for what that produces.
Because to some degree, I feel like we've all, or a lot of humanity, has been through something that can change them for the worse. At some point, it becomes a choice. Am I going to just live with this and just keep going on like nothing, for telling myself nothing's wrong with it is, or or like you said, am I going to do something to at least walk in the direction of trying to fix the issue?
Yeah. That's why you need brothers like Dub, because like for me, I have a tendency to sometimes be an enabler because I don't really want to get involved. I'm like, yeah, just let him be how he is. And Dub is the person that will like look at the bag of shit that you carrying and look what it's doing to you. Like Dub is like that person to really put it in your face, and after he breaks you down and you want to commit suicide, like I'll be there to. Hey, I did say you put it in your face. I apologize. We're gonna move on to the last video of the night. We got anything in the comments? Let me see. I haven't checked it in a minute. Mike GG Garvine agrees with you. Lakeisha Bastine says it sucks, but I don't talk about my past pain, trauma, or drama because I hate when people throw things up in my face. I never argue petty, so that turns me off. I hear you on that. I saw a comment earlier. Okay, so some people are watching this show on delayed, so they're kind of commenting on stuff from back. The Lighthouse Perspective on YouTube says, so what if the person doesn't like their weight? Would you eliminate them? What if the person doesn't look like their weight? Would you eliminate them on the number or on the aesthetic? That's a really good question.
I don't think either. I think it goes back to what you said about being unhealthy. Like if you're choosing to live an unhealthy lifestyle that is in turn made you gain weight, then that's an issue for me, because I don't want to be with somebody and then you die from a heart attack because you're choosing to live an unhealthy lifestyle.
You know what? And that makes that, so that brings this comment up. Big Mike said, hello, Michael. She said, I think a lot of women are insecure about their age and weight, so it comes across as rude when asked. So it's perceived as rude because can't you see that I'm insecure about my age and my weight? And I think so. When I see a person insecure, or when I see myself insecure, I know it comes from an unhealthy comparison that I'm doing in my head. And if a person heavily compares themselves, then there's a great tendency that they'll probably compare you to that same degree. So you have to just something to look out for.
Yeah.
Did you try to correct me, Garvin? Now I'm gonna change it. I like it better the way I said it.
See, and Gigi's watched the show before back in the day. I don't know if she's watched in a while, but you should know Donovan Butcher's
GGG.
name. See?
Butchers?
Oh no, Butchers cuts it
Betters?
up, chops it up, put
Betters, perfects. Listen, Ancestry.com told me your last name is Garvon. All right, let me do this last video real quick before we get out of here.
If I'm in a bikini, I'm at a pool party. I'm in a bikini, I'm rolling up.
Yep.
Right? I'm talking to my homegirl, boom. Nigga just come behind me, slap my ass.
Yep.
He's in the right. I chose to wear a bikini instead of shorts.
Okay. What is that there's a lot of pieces of shit out there. What is that there's a lot of bad people out there. What is there's a lot of sexual predators out there that are willing to take opportunities and that present themselves. You can't control the world and you can't control the weirdos out there. One of the few things you do control is how you dress, how the world perceives you, being safe, etc. So this is why men don't like their girl dressing in a certain way, because men know these threats. Men have to accept reality, men have to accept danger, etc. So a lot of times when a guy's telling you, yo, I don't like you being dressed like that, I'm telling you not to do this because I know the dark side of the world, because men have to experience these things. They know what men are capable of. So even though what that guy did is reprehensible, he shouldn't be touching women that he doesn't know, we got to operate on reality. That's what happens when you sexualize yourself. When a man sexualizes a woman, 9 out of 10 times that woman sexualized herself. If you want to dress like a hoe, be prepared for idiots out there to treat you like a hoe, even though you shouldn't be treated that way.
If I'm in a bikini.
I like the way he cleaned it up at the end. And I wouldn't say dress like a hoe, but if you want to decide to dress provocatively, be prepared for idiot men to come slap you on your ass, and because that's what idiots do. And they shouldn't be treated that way, but
Can't hear you, bro.
Yo, you got it on mute somehow.
Go back on.
Yeah. What'd you say?
All right. No, so they do not have the right to be treated that way. But the fact of the matter is, it's still immature guys out there that's going to do it anyway. So I mean, it's one of those things. Do I take the risk of being in confrontation because I want to wear this these shorts or this dress that barely covers my ass, or do I want to play it safe and, you know what I mean, not?
So would you say that a bikini is provocative wear?
And she said she was at a pool party. No, not for me. For me though, that's for me. That may not be.
I'm just trying to figure out what's safe to wear these days. Then,
right.
So let me ask this question. This is just something to ponder about, right? And I'm not excusing any behavior. You know what I'm saying? So let me put that out there first. I'm not excusing the man's behavior, smacking on my ass, whatever. But this is the thing that I think about. Made me think about that girl who grabbed Busta Rhymes' butt and he threw his drink on her. That's the first thing.
Something that happened to the Busta.
Yeah, something viral was going on right now. Busta Rhymes was walking, a group of people, she grabbed his butt, he turned around and threw his drink on her. I find like women will have a problem, rightfully so, with the guy touching them. But they don't have a problem, and they think it's okay for them to constantly touch guys, right? They touch. So listen, they'll touch a guy, you know. They'll smack a guy on the butt, you know what I'm saying, and say a little gesture. They'll rub a guy's arm, touch his arm. They'll touch a guy's chest. They, you know what I'm saying, doing all these things, touching us, and it's okay because it's a woman doing it, and you're supposed to want these touches, right? But then if a man, you know what I'm saying, and these are parts that women think about sexualizing, and they may not be like sexual things, but it may be those things that they like per se. Like, oh, I like a guy with big arms. I like a guy with big chest. I like a guy with a nice butt. So these women feel like it's okay to touch these parts of the body that they like on a man. However, for man, it's, you know what I'm saying, going to touch a part of the body that he likes on a woman. It's
my eyebrows.
You're right, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You're a jerk. You're rude. You're a pig. You're this. You're that. If a man goes and touch a woman like that, right? it's so crazy that, and like I said, I'm not excusing this man's behavior for smacking a man for smacking her on her butt, whatever the case may be. You know, however you dress is how you dress. You know what I'm saying? May not be appropriate to some people, whatever, but if that's what you want to wear, that's what you want to wear, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I can't tell you. Who knows how much respect you're gonna get, but whatever. But all I'm saying is just that, like, a lot of times it's so heavily expressed on a man touching a woman, but women touch guys every single day, whether it be in the workplace, whether it be, you know what I'm saying, anywhere. And if a guy was to touch that woman in that same spot, it'd be very much inappropriate.
Well, I think Lakeisha said it best. Chin checked and pushed in the pool. Who's in the wrong at that point? Are they saying that Busta Rhymes is in the wrong for throwing a drink on that girl's face for grabbing his
No. She'd even apologized to him. She apologized to him after that.
What about the old ladies at church always want to rub on my arms?
That's what I'm saying.
Man, that's sexual
dentures.
harassment.
Huh?
Did you say dentures?
No. Yo, my ex used to be so mad. These women like 70, 80 years old church. Baby, you're looking good. You're taking care of yourself. She used to be so upset. She didn't care how old the woman was. She thought they don't need to be touching you like that. Hilarious. And it wasn't dementia.
Sylvia, long time no see. I ain't seen that name in a minute. But this comment you made is legit. The way we dressed is how we'll be addressed. Keep it classy. She didn't say that, but I felt like that was
is a whole nice conversation starter in itself.
But you know, Dub, I feel like Dub said it the best. Just dress destination appropriate.
That's still too vague, bro.
If you're going to the beach, that's the time you want to wear your thong bikini and not to the damn club. You know what I'm saying? Even though you did wear a thong to the club
at the club, I did. Got a lot of money for it too.
I get it. Just throw the whole conversation away.
Yeah, throw the whole thing away. I mean, you was out there tricking, and I was getting tricked on. You know.
Oh, we never did that.
Never did that, brother. Got to know.
Well, now I do, but
I'm thinking to myself though, because that I've heard Dove say that for the destination appropriate, but still that leaves room for misinterpretation. So like Gigi said, like, okay, it's in people's personal perception of you, what deem as appropriate. Because somebody can be like, where I come from, that's inappropriate. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like when people see you with jeans on with holes in them, that's not church appropriate for some people, right? At the beach, you know what I'm saying? Some girls are like, yo, I'm not. That's bedroom attire. Me and Dub, I think we had a conversation on this show about what's the difference between a bikini and lingerie. Honestly, it's just the material, because they showing the same amount these days. You know what I'm saying to you? Or, you know, or if you had a little girl, you know what I'm saying, and you taking her to the beach, what are you putting her in?
You know what's funny? People try to people try to use excuses or environmental places to get away with whatever the fuck they want to get away with. What makes the rule that's saying you have to be damn near naked to get in the body of water?
None.
Oh, we're going to the beach, we're going to the pool, so this is no. You still showing all your body. You still showing everything. You got a string that's covering up your nipples and areolas. You got a string that's covering up your vagina, just so your vagina hole and your butthole is not showing. So is that, you know what I'm saying? Just because I'm getting in some water, that just makes it okay? Like, for real.
They want to wear what they wear to take a bath.
You get in a bottle, huh?
That's what they wear to take a bath at home, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
tanning.
And then the first time a guy wants to throw on some gray sweats, the woman's like, "Where you going with those on?"
To the beach. I'm going swimming.
Listen, if I feel like to each his own, but like I said initially, just be prepared for certain consequences, because everybody is not as mature as you'd like them to be.
So if we're going to use the conversation, I want to call it the Gina hole, but Gina is fine. So if we want to use, thank you, sir.
if we want to use the idea of be destination appropriate, I think the destination we need to talk about is actually Earth in the state of humanity, bro. Where are we as a race of people, homie? Are you honestly safe anywhere? People are being touched in the church, at the beach, on the subway. Like it's a wild world we live in. So dress appropriate to the age and time of humanity that you live in.
That's good.
I feel like that's really the only destination appropriate.
Yep.
You may want to do a lot of things. The Bible says I can do all things, but not all things are beneficial. I may feel like it's my body and it's the beach and it's a public place. I should be able to, you should be able to, but are you aware of the times that you live in and what might be? And especially like we've had this conversation, the lady was talking about with men, like, babe, I'd rather you not dress that way when we go there. I'm not trying to control you, but I'm just aware of the times that we live in and what could potentially happen. And I'm playing this thing all the way out in my head. And I'd rather come home and have dinner with you tonight than we try to figure out bail money.
Yeah. Yep. Because I think some women don't think that far ahead. Like if this dude come up here and smack you in your ass, I'm going to jail. Like don't put me in that situation to where I possibly may have to turn up tonight. Because looking is fine. Niggas gonna look all day long. I don't got you niggas gonna look. But when it comes to physical contact, we got a whole problem. We have a problem. Houston.
Could you see yourself walking away if your girl was like harassed by a guy in the club? Can you see yourself like walking away like, babe, let's just leave and de-escalate? No.
You know, I'm gonna tell you like this, man. Some women don't care that they make life harder for men. They say you gotta control yourself. You gotta do this. You gotta do. Some women just don't give a shit that their decisions make life harder for men. Period. And they say, okay, well, we have to control ourselves. What about women controlling themselves? Because women lose control all the damn time.
Yeah.
And it's not just about, what I'm saying, oh, we just got to control. Listen, what I'm saying? And I want to get specific about this comment right here. It's saying, how about we wear what we want and y'all just control yourself? Wear whatever the hell you want to wear.
But
right? Whatever you wear whatever you want to wear, but just be prepared for the consequences that goes with that. There's stupid people out here, period. Right?
You missed it when you stepped away. Sylvia said the way you dressed is how you'll be addressed.
Right. And that's good stuff, right? People, you have weirdos out here, guys and girls alike. Like I was telling you before I stepped away, women touch and they say things and they make so many different inappropriate things because we're men and we're supposed to be able to take it. But if a man did those exact same things to a woman, oh, you're rude, you're a pig, you're this, you're that, right? Where you are absolutely right. You can wear what you want to wear, right? Control yourself. Fine. Let a man control himself. But you're gonna have to deal with the consequences, whether that's talk, whether that's action, whatever you choose to wear, be prepared for whatever comes with that.
Agreed.
And it may not be warranted per se by you and your own thoughts. People say, oh, you just gotta control yourself, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, fine and dandy. But there's consequences and reactions to damn near everything you do. And if everybody always try to act like they in control of everything, that's when they lost right there. Everybody lose control at some point in time. They may not lash out, they may not blow up. You know what I mean? But if you're going to take that whole mindset of, wear what you want to wear, do what you want to do, be in control, then everybody should be allowed to do whatever the fucking say, whatever they want to say at any given time. And you can have no opinion about it, period.
So that always makes me think about the right of way. Pedestrians have the right of way. But the reality is that if you get hit by a car, your right of way doesn't matter because you're dead.
Yep.
You can't take a dead person. You can't go to court as a dead person and fight for the rights that were yours. You had the right of way legally, but the consequence outweighed that right. And I think that sometimes, yes, we want people to control themselves, but until they all choose to do that, we must live in the reality of the real threat.
That's like me wearing all blue and going to an all blood neighborhood. Why? I know what could potentially. I may be able.
But it's your body.
Right.
But it's just like that mentality. Like, why would I set myself up for the potential threat?
That is the thing right there. It's not saying that you can't do anything. So Gigi, I'm not saying that you can't wear. And I'm not saying people, you know what I'm saying, aren't supposed to control themselves. But unfortunately, we live in the world that is not about all what we feel like, what we want to do at any given time. If we felt like doing whatever we want to do at any given time and nobody had anything to say about it, we all be running wild and running reckless. It's not just about the clothes thing. It's about, you know what I'm saying, it's about a person taking accountability and taking, you know what I'm saying, responsibility for what they're also putting out. You can't just say, oh, I'm just going to walk out with this sheer shirt with no bra underneath and my titties is just popping out. You can see my nipples, my areolas and everything. And the man is supposed to control himself. Like, what the fuck? Like, you know how crazy that sounds? Like, you just putting it out there and everybody's supposed to control themselves and everybody is not supposed to have an opinion and everybody is not supposed to say anything, but you just putting it out there for everybody to see. There's laws against the shit.
I think that, well, if you live in Austin, women can go topless like men can. That's their law. And this is the key thing, because I agree, like Gigi is saying, it sounds crazy because it is crazy. And I think that's the reality we live in. But in Austin, they have police officers, like they have more presence of police officers in areas where women can go topless to help enforce the right and their freedom to go topless. And I think that oftentimes you need to be aware of, yes, it's your body, but do you have a support system or any kind of enforcement in place to make sure that you're safe while doing the thing that you want to do? And I think that's the next component that I think that men tend to think about primarily. Like, is there everything in place for me to be able to do what I want and enjoy doing it? Or is there going to be an issue created because I'm doing this in this place? This is why I don't go certain places, because it is crazy. Gigi, I can't be and do and dress how I want to in those places. I don't go to those places because I don't want to deal with all that extra just to say, well, it's my body. And I just rather just avoid the whole situation and go where a community or a culture is already in place to support me walking. Go to Coachella. You know what I'm saying? There's nudist beaches and all these other kind of colonies where you can go and people understand and they respect other people's wishes and their bodies and stuff like that. Oh, I see. So she's saying that it's crazy to have this conversation and justify disgusting behavior and not vilify it.
When was it justified?
Okay.
I feel like the only thing we've done is say that there's niggas out there that don't respect women, period. That's not justification that he should do it. That's saying get smart and maybe don't wear that around in certain environments.
So maybe there's a PSA for... Go ahead, Mike.
Because if you do, there might be a possibility that you may be violated. It's unfortunate. And I feel like we've all been saying this whole night, it's unfortunate that it has to happen, but it happens. Like,
right.
What's crazy is to think that you should be able to do that and it will never happen.
So I'll say it like this, because I think what you said is true. It's obvious. They know this. Maybe there's a little bit of conversation and energy we could put towards a PSA for other brothers out there to have maybe a little bit more instructional conversation about, yo, these are our sisters. Let's protect them. It's not just your responsibility.
Well, wait. I'm gonna let you finish that, because is it something in me that just made
you gonna let me finish like Kanye, or you gonna let me finish like?
I'm gonna let you finish.
I'm gonna let you finish, but Beyonce had a better video. What you trying to tell me right now?
No, I'm gonna let you finish, because I realize I just jumped into that. You know what I'm saying? Into what you were saying.
It triggered you. Go for it. I got you. Go ahead.
It triggered the shit out of me. You know what I'm saying? And the only reason why I said I just stopped right there, it just triggered me, because it's like I get what you're saying. We need to protect them, but sometimes they need to fall on their ass. You know what I'm saying? For some of the stuff that they're doing, sometimes they need to fall on their ass, because sometimes they put us in a position to try to protect them when knowing damn well they shouldn't have been doing that. Sometimes guys lose their life over trying to protect a woman when they knew damn well they shouldn't have been doing that. So we trying to protect them at all costs. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to no, I haven't been hurt, but we're trying to protect them at all costs. You know what I'm saying? And they putting us in these situations that doesn't warrant that. Like, check yourself first before you put a man in a situation to lose his life because you want him to protect you.
Okay. Respect and agree 100%.
Yeah,
I wanted to just go ahead, Mike. I'll go after you.
No, I was just gonna say, like for instance, I don't
you gonna
have
let me finish too?
About I don't want
go
to
ahead.
finish, damn it.
I know.
No, I was just gonna say the relationship. I mean, I don't have to worry about her putting me in any of these situations. Because number one, you got to know your man. You got to know, okay, I know that he can be overprotective. I know that, you know what I mean, he's gonna have my back no matter what. I know he's not gonna let nobody else disrespect me, man, woman, family member, none of that. That shit don't fly over here. So if you know these things about me, it's not saying that, you know what I mean, oh, then I have to just wear this modesty cloth and cover everything up. Dress as sexy as you want to dress, but just know that you know what I'm saying. Just know me, whatever that means to you. So I know that Jay knows me, and she's never going to put me in the type of situation to where I have to fuck a nigga up because he wants to be stupid that night.
So what I hear in all this is that if it came down to it and the man disrespects my woman, I'm going to check him. Chin check him, whatever I need to do to make sure he understands that's not okay. When I was having that conversation just now, I was trying to do the same exact thing, check the brother, but pre-incident, and just use our platform as an opportunity to say, fellas,
how do we pick those men out though? How do we pick?
No, just whoever is listening.
Well, that's what we do on the show. I feel like that's what the show is for, right?
Well, that's why I was just gonna take a moment, and that's what I was taking a moment to do, to bring what I not for you guys, to bring what I felt like was balanced to the conversation. We're talking to the women. I want to talk to the guys too. Like we're talking in that scenario from that video, we're addressing the woman who, you know, and the guy had this conversation, say, but I want to talk about the guy who actually did a thing that was inappropriate. Speaking on that, just taking a moment to use the platform and say that's not right. And,
can I ask you a question? I want to ask you a question. In the video, did I hear her say that that's okay? That the guy came up behind her and smacked her on the ass? Didn't the woman say that's okay?
Yeah, she said.
She did say.
She said because she was at the pool party. Yeah. But I want to speak.
Go ahead.
I'm saying that it's not okay.
I agree.
She said it was okay.
If she was okay with it, why is it not okay for you? She said it was okay.
Perfect. I'm happy you said that, because me and Dub made a pact before we went to Texas. Dub, remember this pact? And we said that we were going to respect women even that didn't require us to respect them.
100%.
That was a pact 100%. That me and him made, because women don't always require you to respect them, but God does. It's still a mandate on a man to respect the woman, even when 100%. She's begging you to not respect her.
100%.
And so for any of the brothers listening, it's still our mandate, even if they don't require it, to respect them. So
100%. No, I agree. 100%.
Yeah.
I'm just rethinking his pact.
No.
You stupid.
No,
stupid.
No, it's not that, man. It's I was just thinking about a conversation that I had on the way to San Diego, and it was just about we as men need to be retrained so we can retrain women, and I'll bring some clarity to that. What I mean by that, as men, even if the women are putting their bodies out there like that, and if they're trying to seek attention, if they're trying to do that, us men need to be more, I'm going to use your words, Gigi, in self-control, right? To not go for that, right? To not just jump after lust, to where it's like, oh shit, look at the body. Look at, you know what I'm saying? She got this out. She got that out. And so it's not bringing so much, you know what I mean? It's not bringing so much emphasis on a woman having or feeling like she have to do that per se. With that being the case, I feel like it can redirect how a woman puts herself out there. Like a lot of times women do certain things for attention. People do certain things. I don't just want to say women. A lot of times people do certain things out of attention, and we do it because we're getting the attention and we want that attention, so we're going to continue to do it. But if we stop getting that attention, then it's like, okay, well, maybe we need to alter some things. Maybe we need some change of things because we're not getting whatever it is that we were seeking or what we thought we wanted. So I just feel like certain things need to be changed. We need to be retrained. We need to be, women and men alike need to be retrained. And speaking of that, I want to address this. When the gentleman said, dogs are trained, fighters are trained. A lot of people are trained. You go through training when you get to a job. There's training. So I don't think it's just dogs or trained as far as, you know, you got to do this with this person. Everybody needs training.
The Bible say train up a child.
Train up a child, right? So when it comes to training, I think training that's not a bad thing. It's not just for dogs. I feel like the humans, people need training in different things. Like I said, when you go to a new job, they train you on your position. They train you on certain things. When you go through, you know, when you in martial arts, you're training. When you're lifting weights, you're weight training. So I don't think training is a bad choice of words. Just like I said, I feel like we need to revamp our mind as to
training versus teaching.
Still the same thing. You don't teach weights, you train weights. You don't, you know what I'm saying? You don't teach martial arts, you train in martial arts. You train your body to do a certain thing. You have to train. You can teach it, you know what I'm saying? You can teach somebody all day and they don't have to do anything physical if you teach them how to do it. But when you train somebody on doing it, they actually go through the motions of actually doing it.
Well, so my question is, I'm kind of playing with this idea. Like, is training something that you do to yourself, and what other people do to you is teaching? Because I do believe that there's an idea of the training that comes with like this component of consequences, and you know what I'm saying, maybe some penalties if you don't do it the right way. Is that what we do to ourselves? We should, you know what I'm saying, or maybe like I said, the parent training the child, but like in basketball and football and karate, aren't you being taught? And you can choose to take that teaching to train yourself? No,
you can teach somebody something, but you don't have to physically do something to teach them. A person, you can teach me how to, you know what I'm saying, run. You can teach me by just sitting me down and teaching me how to do it. Okay, you have to lift your legs up like this. You have to do this. But if you don't train me physically doing it, there's a difference between teaching somebody, telling somebody how to do something versus training them on how to do it and actually going through the motions of continuously doing it, training to get your body to do a certain thing. You can wait look, and you can weight train. There's going to be two different results from when you weight look versus when you weight train.
I think that I want to make sure that I adapt in my tool belt the ability to replace training with teaching when necessary for the person that I'm talking to. Because sometimes my whole idea of what I'm trying to help somebody understand could be lost in one word. And if I have the flexibility to say, you know what, teach for the sake of you getting the point, just want to make sure I have that word available.
I understand.
I kind of agree with Gigi. She said, I think the word is a trigger for some people, although it's not meant in a negative context. I agree with that.
Man, listen, let me tell you something. And you're absolutely right. It is a trigger. You know what I'm saying? Just like a lot of words is triggers. You know what I'm saying? People are sensitive in certain natures. Like, why are you triggered by, like, people get triggered by a lot of words. Like, a lot of women get triggered by the word submit. Some men get triggered by other words. You know what I'm saying? Like, people get triggered by words and it affects things. And like a lot of times we miss the point of what somebody's trying to tell us because we get triggered by a word, right? Like, for example, one of my sayings on, you know what I'm saying, what I always say, me, period. You know what I'm saying? Not saying anything else, but when I say fuck these bitches, people get automatically triggered by me saying that. Why? You know, you're not listening to any other reason or everything else that I say around when I say fuck these bitches. But the simple fact that I say fuck these bitches, it's a trigger, so everything else goes out of the window. Everybody has trigger words, right? And it just is what it is. But I feel like I have trigger words, you know what I'm saying? Just everybody has triggered things that just like spark something in them. And I'm not saying we don't have them. Once again, that's one of those things that we have to leave room for humanity, leave room for people to be people. But I just feel like we need to unpack the content of what is said versus just worrying about the specific words that are used.
I was looking up this passage real quick. I think what I'm trying to do, and this goes back to the young lady that I'm dating right now. She keeps bringing like scriptures back to my mind. Like, yo, you know, where's that scripture? How does that line up? Or how's God guiding you in that respect? because it keeps going back to, you can do whatever you want, but it's not all going to be beneficial, even in how I present or I talk to people or the words that I use. So Proverbs 15:1 says, a soft word turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. Wise people learn from others, and some learn only from their own experience. And I think that when I look at the book of wisdom in Proverbs, I start to understand how to pick and choose my battles. Because do I really want to spend the next 3 hours trying to get you to understand that you really shouldn't be triggered by this? Or could I, in wisdom, knowing that could be a trigger for you, because I know enough about you, or I see in the moment you're being triggered and say, hey, I didn't mean it that way. Let me change it up. Just what you got, Mike?
No, I'm agreeing with you 100%. But you said something very key. I know enough about you. I'm in some type of connection with you to where I know Dove's personality. So I know if he says fuck these bitches, I know what's behind that, as opposed to somebody that doesn't know Dove may think like, oh, he hates all women, things like he's been hurt, you know what I mean, things of that nature. But I feel like if you don't have that relationship with that person, it's a free for all. It's left up to that person's interpretation.
And I think that this, what for me comes down to the same scripture about emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
If you're able to, and I've told you guys this on the show, on episode many times, that that's something we should all work on, our emotional intelligence, because a lot of our relationships aren't reaching the potential they could reach because we lack the emotional intelligence, and we blame it on, I don't really know you like that, I don't have a wealth of knowledge. But it's an emotional intelligence is built on an instinctive thing that every human has inside of them to pick up on, something's off here. Something's not right here. Let me, if for me to have the maturity in a conversation to be like, yo, did I just say something that triggered you? Like, yeah, when you said, that was ugly. Like, I didn't like the fact that you said it like that. Like, my bad. I didn't mean it aggressively, or I didn't mean it disrespectfully. Let me say it a different way to get the same point across. It wasn't to my liking. You guys heard me on the show before. Instead of calling somebody ugly, I tell them if their looks ain't trending. I've found ways to say and call people ugly multiple ways without them being triggered. That's my point. The point is that if you have enough tools in your toolbox, you don't miss the point of the conversation because somebody was triggered by a word. Because like Dove said, everybody got these triggers. But for me, I love communication so much, I don't want to ruin it when I could just change the word and we can keep going in the conversation instead of having a 4-hour argument where two egos don't want to give in to the fact that I should use a different word.
I would say, to add on to that, I think you have to care about whoever it is that you're talking to even want to change. Because honestly, a lot of stuff, I don't care. I don't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's not that I'm harsh or whatever. I really don't care. And it's not one of those things to where, oh, well, you know what I'm saying? Oh, you just, blah, blah. I really don't care. It really doesn't make a difference to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can go with it or without. It really doesn't make a difference to me. Certain people I can go with or go without. You know what I'm saying? It really doesn't make a difference. I don't care. So if I say something and you get offended by something that I say and you don't want to check the contents and you really don't, you know what I'm saying? Don't care. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? And this is the thing. This is the thing. People are so worried about this persona that they put out that they do not want to be 100% themselves, right? And when you so worried about this persona that you put out that you don't want to be 100% yourself, then you start to guide other people. And then people who are 100% themselves, they don't have anything to relate to. So now they got to just keep on trying to figure out, oh, should I be like this? Should I be like this? Do I got to be like this? Because this is politically correct. But that's not how I feel. That's not what I want. That's not being me, true, authentic to myself. Right. And I understand, what you're saying, Gigi, you know what I'm saying, on a platform. I don't give a shit about it. You know what I'm saying? Because there's so many people who can relate to me being authentically me. I feel like, you know what I'm saying? If somebody is going through something and they can say, wow, that guy is honest. That guy is speaking exactly how he feels. Yeah. Right. Without any kind of, oh, I got to say it like this because these people are going to, I don't give a shit about what these people are going to say or do or think. Yeah. I'm going to be 100% me. I'm going to be honest to myself, because if I can't even look in the mirror because I'm so worried about doing what other people think or say, or this persona that I have to keep up with, I'm going to be miserable. I don't want to be miserable worried about everybody else's opinion.
I think that Allison said it best. She said, that's why I love this platform. Y'all are so different and authentic. There are men out who there can relate to each of you differently.
And I think that what Dub is saying is true for him. Like, I respect his journey and his path that he's on and how he represents himself. For me, there's one thing that trumps my my authenticity, and that's God's will for me. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, if I don't care, but God cares, I've told myself I have to care. I have to find a way to care. That's not a mandate for all mankind. That's my mandate for me, which is why I tailor my conversations to make sure that God will be happy with it, or he's pleased, or if it's something that he cares about. Like, I don't care about that. Not, and I understand what Dub's saying most times, but I've fashioned myself to do my best to find a way to care if it's something that I feel like God cares about. There's so many different things I don't want to do, and Dub knows the things that I don't want to do, especially this year alone, things that I've pushed myself into because I feel like God was leading me in that direction, things I could care less about. But that's the one thing for me that trumps my authenticity, because what I think is authentic, God is saying that's not truly who you are. And he always reminds me of what Mike said. I've had on this armor so long that I think that that's my personality, but it's not. It's really just armor I put on because, and this is for nobody else, this is for me, because of what happened to me. I put a video up on Instagram a while ago about how I struggled with being kind to people. Some people think I'm the nicest person ever. They don't know I struggle with being kind, but I had an issue with being kind because trauma and abuse happened to me when I was younger. And I said that it was my kindness that caused it to happen to me. So I stopped being kind, only to find out that being unkind wasn't even going to keep me safe either. You know what I'm saying to you? So when you understand a person's struggle and identify what is driving their life now, that's where I'm at. If God says he cares about it, then I'm doing my best to care about it, even if it seems inauthentic to me, because maybe I don't know who I truly am yet fully.
I agree with you on that. One thing, every day in my prayer is, above all my wants, desires, needs, and thoughts, God, let your perfect will be done. So even before how I think about myself or what I want or whatever, but I also think about this. God created my character for my person, for my purpose. God created me to be a specific way, right? And some people may not rock with me. Some people may feel like, oh, this or that. The crazy part about it is those people who don't know me. Is those people who are just, looking at me from the outside, looking in. Oh, you have to be like this. You have to be like this. You have to do this. You have to say this. People, people know me, and I don't like to talk about myself like that, because it just makes me feel uncomfortable to talk about myself, like as far as all the things that I do to help people and stuff like that. So I don't talk about it. But people that know me know my heart. People that know me know who I am. And people who don't know me, all they see is a side of me saying, hey, I really don't care about that. And it's not to be rude or be mean or be disrespectful about. It's just me being honest and say, hey, you know what? I really don't care about that. People want me to care about stuff that I really don't care about. People want me to be nice when I don't want to be nice. There's a difference between being kind and being nice. I don't have to be nice all the time. I don't have to. That me not being nice don't mean that I'm being rude or arrogant or a jerk or an asshole. It's just I don't have to be nice. I have a mandate that, to follow other things, right? If God is telling me to move a certain way, move a certain way. If God is telling me, hey, stop, don't do this. If God is telling me, hey, don't say that, I'm not going to say it. I know how to check myself. I know how to just say, hey, you know what? I know you may feel like this. I know you may want to say this, but this is not the right time. There's a lot of stuff that I want to say that I don't say it because I know it's not appropriate at that time, right? But I don't feel like people who don't know me should always be able to have something to say about me. Oh, it appears this way. I don't give a shit about how it appears, because I'm not here to just sit up here and just be an appearance to people. And, oh, you have to be like this. No, I have to be myself. I have to be real. And if I can be myself and be authentic and still do the purpose that God gave me, you know what I'm saying? Then I'm going to do that. If God's saying, hey, turn, I know you want to go right, but turn left, I'm going to turn left. I'm going to do what he tells me to do. Right. But in the same breath, in that same vein, I don't feel like I always have to cater to everybody's opinion, everybody's thoughts, everybody's feelings. Oh, you're too soft. Oh, you're hurt. Oh, hurt people, and you look hurt. And you do. No, I'm not. I just don't care. And why do I have to care? Because it may seem like this to you. I don't care how it seems to you. Like I said, people know me. They know me. I go all out for anybody that I love, care about, or feel a certain way about. I give you a shirt off my back. Here, you can have it. And if I need to go hit a lick to make sure you got it, I'm going to go hit that lick. It is what it is. If you don't know me, you want to form an impression about what I talk about on this podcast, then you obviously not paying attention to everything that I'm saying on the podcast.
Right.
It's not just about a couple words that trigger you here and there and make you say, oh, well, you did. And I don't care. I don't care. Listen to what I'm saying first. Listen to where my heart is.
I don't care. I don't care. I don't care.
Everybody is going to have an opinion about something. Everybody's going to have an opinion about something. And nobody is perfect. And for everybody who got something to say about how I may say something, look at your own mirror. Look in the mirror. Check yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because I guarantee there's a lot of other stuff that people are saying about you that you don't want to correct. And that you feel like, no, I'm good.
That's good. I also wanted to, hopefully in closing,
at 10:30.
Right. I also wanted to say, I saw Sylvia's comment. It's coming off as hurting people, though, especially if this is a platform that to help other people. So this is what I want the audience to be very, very clear about. When Carrie started this podcast, it was not a podcast to try to help people. This was a podcast so the audience can get a look into what four men that have grown through a lot of things, that have been through some things, and that have changed into better men, what our conversations like barbershop talk, what that looks like behind closed doors that we normally wouldn't share. And it's called Maybe This Will Help, because maybe it will. It's not a podcast to where we're out here seeking to give advice. And we usually give this disclaimer in the beginning, but we're not seeking to give anybody any advice. We're not saying that we're a therapist or anything like that. You guys are just really getting the raw conversations that we have with each other. And that's all this is. If it helps somebody, great. If it's something that doesn't help you, move past it.
I think I'm the blame for all the false advertisement. I'd like to go ahead and let everybody know that's my fault. I thought I misquoted the premise of the show. I am a licensed life coach. That's not what I'm doing here. I often have to when I tell you these brothers, this show would look totally different if these brothers didn't check me. It would actually be a show, not just an opportunity for you to get a sneak peek into some vulnerable conversation. I've tried many times that we should do this and this would be cool, and the brother like, we ain't with the gimmicks, we ain't with the shows, we ain't trying to do all that. We're just gonna get on here whenever we get on here. Y'all remember we used to match and all that kind of stuff. Listen, we just want to come on here and be comfortable and just have a conversation with y'all. So let me apologize for all the false advertisement that I put out there.
Let me say something real quick. Even with it helping, maybe it'll help. You know what I'm saying? Maybe this will help. It is helping.
It is 100%.
It is helping, but the thing is, everything is just like a church message. When you go to every church message that you go to is not going to be for you that day.
Yeah.
And for people to think, you know what I'm saying, like, oh well, this ain't helping me. This maybe it will, but maybe it don't help you at this particular time. Maybe you are so caught up on the own way that you thinking that you're not even willing to step out and see that other people think different than you. And just because they think different than you doesn't mean that it's wrong. If you take the time to figure out how another person thinks and how other people, you know what I'm saying, like put more tools in your toolbox. The way you think is not always right. If you put more tools in your toolbox, maybe later on you say, oh, shoot, this is what he was talking about. Because sometimes we just don't have enough life experience to understand what somebody else is trying to say. Sometimes we may not be at that point to have experienced that part of life yet. Right? So it may be something that you put in your toolbox. Then later on when you experience, you're like, oh my God, I was talking so crazy about this dude or this woman that was saying this, but now I get it. Now, like the older play, just live a little longer.
Have you ever had one of those moments though?
Just longer. Oh yeah, definitely. I have them all the time. And the cold part about it is people that have something to say are so goddamn judgmental. You have to do this, and it appears this way, and it appears, but you don't want to hear that you're judgmental. You don't want to hear that you're judging people. You don't know people. You don't want to hear everybody in the box and say that they be a. You don't want to hear it because why? All of a sudden, this whole perfect picture about yourself is going out of the window because now you're judging people. Now you're saying everybody has to be a certain way. Oh, it looks like this. It looks like that. You want to fight for women wearing whatever it is that they want to wear, but then you want to censor a man for saying whatever he want to say if he don't care about something. It's okay for a woman to not care about other people when they want to dress how they want to dress. But if me and man on the podcast want to say whatever it is that I want to say, now you got an opinion about it. Now you got something to say. Now you shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't be doing that. Why don't you judge them women about what they wearing outside? They shouldn't be wearing that. They shouldn't be saying this. But the judgment don't go there. The judgment is only, oh, you're supposed to say this. You're supposed to act like this. This is a platform. I don't give a damn about that. If you're going to keep it that way, keep that same energy all the way around. Maybe this will help.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode of Emphasis on the Maybe. This will help. Or, as I've said plenty of times, maybe we need therapy. Or the best title for this show, maybe this will piss you off. So thank you guys for joining us tonight. Usually we're on 8 p.m. to 10 p.m., but tonight we gave you that extra too because the conversation was that good. I love what did she say? Vicky said the match days. That was season 1, bro. We used to nigga put on your red hat with the blue shirt.
Listen, we had 4 conversations before the show.
We did, man. He's like, I bought Dub lights and everything so his light could look more like Mike lights. Niggas on here now, like, look, bro. So you like what you see? This is what you get. You see is what you get. But you know what? I think that just creates more space for more people to be able to relate to us authentically because, you know, I'm who I am. Mike is who he is. Dub is who he is. And I think that with us, if you really pay attention to the relationship we all have with each other, we don't judge each other. You know, well, we do. And we try not to do it as often. And when we do it and we call each other out, we do apologize. That's not us. Never our heart intention to judge one another, even though we talk this freely to each other in a lot of different environments. And even some of the stuff on here we don't say to y'all because it's just, you know, some stuff it's just for us. It's more private. But I love this. I love this podcast. I love what it represents. And I think that it is really beneficial for a lot of the brothers out there trying to figure out how to do brotherhood. I think that's a very challenging component for a lot of men. I don't think that I was really taught. I know I wasn't really taught how to do brotherhood. You know what I'm saying to you? So you guys, you know, I appreciate your patience and your grace with me as I try to figure this out and how you guys need certain love from me and I sometimes don't give it. And y'all still rock with me and check me and force me to do things that I wouldn't normally do. Yeah, you do. And you just, I don't care. And that's one things I never say in a brotherhood ever again. I can never say the words I don't care.
I know, right?
I can't. Y'all, they won't allow me to. That very judgmental when it comes to that. But I just want you guys to know I appreciate y'all exactly how you are. You know, if you end up in hell, I'm cool with that. But I just want you to know it is. I might be right there next to you. But listen, I love y'all. Yeah, I just wanted to highlight y'all for a second because I'll tell you, man, this brotherhood is challenging, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's challenging for me at times, man. It's very challenging, especially when I consider how easy it is for me to just go and do life by myself.
Yeah. I think for me, it's challenging when I don't communicate. To me, that's when it's the most challenging. When I allow my mind to get the best of me instead of just reaching out, communicating, things like that. For me, once the communication is there, it makes it a lot easier.
Communication, like how other people can understand the communication, because you know sometimes like the way you communicate doesn't really translate with other people. Like, you know, it's like Mike, I said it, but did you like? Kerry called me out this weekend. He was like, Don, like you're the literal brother. You know what I'm saying? So when I told you guys, you know, hey, this, you know, something happened in the family, don't reach out. I don't want to talk about it. I didn't reach out at all. He was like, I know you took it literal, like extremely literal. You never reached out and asked me about it. I was respecting your wishes, but that wasn't necessarily what he was saying, but that's what he typed in. And I took it as such. Mike didn't take it as such. Mike said, whatever, I'm going to do what I think is best. Well, I honored his request, but the fact that we all know each other, and I don't think that we get upset with the fact that we behave the way that we kind of know each other is going to behave. You know, I know Dub is going to be like, he's good. You know, said he was good. He's good. I know Mike is gonna like step over every boundary because he leads with his heart. You know what I'm saying? And Dub is loyal, but Dub is definitely gonna let you work through your stuff and kind of check on you from the parameters. He's not a hands-on spotter. You know what I'm saying to you? For me, I'm literal. If I need to, to do it and that's how you say it, then cool. Pookie is just gonna tell you to get it together. And carry a cry with you. So I mean, everybody got everybody figured out at the end of the day. That's all. I just felt like ranting at the end of this episode. I'm ready to go to sleep.
Show.
Like anything else to say?
No, I'm good. I'm about to go hit the gym.
You off tomorrow?
Yeah.
Hey, must be nice.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for. We want to shout out Amber McGellen. Thank you guys.
Hey Jay.
Sylvia, Carrie, Bastain, Bianca, we saw you come in at the last minute. We appreciate you. Vicky with the throwbacks, for real, man. Thank you so much. Allie, of course, we appreciate you. Gigi, thank you for engaging with us and like even the back and forth, keeping that conversation going. I know that, man, it's going to benefit somebody somewhere. Miss Webb, we appreciate you as well. Darius, we didn't get a chance to get to your comment because you were talking about like something that we talked about previously, but thank you for chiming in. Whenever you guys put things in the chat, people who watch this show on rebroadcast are able to benefit from, the input you added or the things you highlighted. So we encourage you to continue to please like put stuff in the chat because you never know. Somebody might be watching this 3-4 years down the line, and see something you said and it might be life changing for them. So yeah. Anyway, we like to end every episode with something that is very necessary, a mental health segment. And if anything that was said tonight triggered you, we'd like to give you a healthy resource. Is it showing up on your side? It's not showing up on mine.
Yep.
Yes.
It's there.
I can't see it. Somebody else.
It's there. Just talk.
Okay. All right. So this is a mental health hotline number. It's 988 instead of 911. Call 988 if you're in a crisis. And this doesn't have to be the type of crisis that somebody else verifies as a crisis. It could be something that you consider a crisis, like my spouse, has a drinking problem, or my mother, is having issue accepting my interracial relationship, whatever it is. I'm having a hard time learning how to communicate with my children. Whatever you consider a personal crisis, you can call this number and get connected to a therapist, a counselor, a support group. What do you say, Mike?
He called dinner.
Oh, okay. I thought he was bringing them on the show. But this is a number you can call. We like to give you this as a resource because I'm an advocate for you not going through and trying to do fighting all these giants alone. I'm definitely an advocate for you reaching out and getting the resources to make this process of either healing or learning or being trained a little easier. Sometimes, it's the potential that your relationship has or the potential of your life in this season. You're one tool away from really opening up that potential. It could be learning a different way to communicate. It could be learning about emotional intelligence. It could be learning how to properly or grieve in a healthy way. It could be learning how to embrace your uniqueness and stop trying to form to what other people want you to be. All these skills and tool sets really help you maximize your life. And that's what I want for people. That's why I want to add this resource at the end of every episode for people to really live a full life, a fulfilled life. Fellas, you guys want to add anything to that personally?
No, sir.
All right, cool. Well, this has been another wonderful episode. Maybe this will help the podcast. Thank you guys so much for chiming in. No. One more time before we get out of here.
Ladies, I know what you want. You want a guy that's sweet, a guy that's tough, a feminist who likes to pay for stuff, the kind of guy that gets along with your friends without being attracted to any of them. A good boy, a bad boy, a good bad boy, a half good, half bad, half boy. Loves your brother, sensitive but not weekend. Is a great lover, calls your mother on the weekend. Now you might think that this guy only exists in your mind. But guess what? You're right. If you want love, lower your expectations a few, because Prince Charming would never settle for you. If you want love, Just pick a guy and love him. And if he's got a thing for feet, say fuck it, sweep me off them. Now, ladies, I know what you want.
All right, man. Let's pray and get out of here tonight. Who's doing the honors? All right.
Not me.
I feel like Mike was he's on the verge. Mike, was you on the verge or no?
You know, I keep them quick. We could do it. We in and out. Father,
listen, I keep
thank
them
you for
quick.
Thank you for another great show, Lord. I thank you that you keep us covered throughout this week, ourselves as well as our viewers, Lord. We thank you for families, friends, and loved ones, that you will show them your grace, your mercy, your light, Lord. And we just thank you and praise you for all the things that you've done for us and will do for us in the future, Lord, that we don't even know about. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.